You can support this show at patreon.com/ASA podcasting.
You're feeding your beavers pickled eggs.
The wasteland is a post-apocalyptic mess as the sole survivor wanders out about to leave the rest. Nuclear explosions sending out the gamma rays from deep within the core, gross atomic waste. From deep within the core, gross atomic waste.
Hello and welcome to the 518th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, joined by a flock of my favorite Fallout folks. Tonight, I've got Ray. What's up, Ray?
Yeah, hello.
And also Jess. What's going on, Jess?
Kapow! Hey, Andrew. Greets, everybody.
And returning guest tonight, our special compadre returning from long past, we have Dwight, who's back on the show. Dwight, how you been, sir? It's been a good long little bit. How's things?
It's been a while. Yeah. Good.
It's wonderful to have you. Welcome back, Dwight. And so tonight on the show, we'll go over our gameplay per usual off the top. We've got a little bit of game time tonight. If we've got time, we can do a second double dip of game time. Maybe some WoW. I don't know if Andrew creates the games trying to do what Jess does, and we'll see if I didn't mess it up. I'm good at that sort of stuff. All right, a little bit of iguana bits on our way out the door, and a shout or two. Why not? All right, let's go ahead and roll right into it. Check in with folks, see what we've been getting into recently, and since Dwight hasn't been on in a good long forever, I think we need to check in to say, hey, what games you been playing the last long little while? What you been getting into?
Well, I hadn't played 76 in quite a while, honestly. I dipped out to play Starfield, played that for a while. And
how do you find that? Talk on that.
I loved it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't know. I felt like I kind of finished it, and it was going to be a while before the DLC dropped.
Mm-hmm.
And I just I changed gears, and honestly, Will had picked up Baldur's Gate 3 and was telling me how awesome it was.
Yeah.
And I was like,
hooked you.
And then, it's all wrapped around D&D rules and D&D, and I was like, I need to play this.
He was just talking last week about having co-opted you for a lot of D&D and such. So you got a couple months in Starfield, and then you got pulled into Baldur's with the rest of them?
Oh, you don't know. You don't understand. Will doesn't do anything halfway.
No, okay? I do know that.
and he is awesome for it. He'll never tell you this, but he is born to DM. I swear to God, he is awesome at it. I mean, he had us. We started out just pen and paper, and just the basic using D&D Beyond and everything. No, in short order, when he DM'd, he had the digital screen on the computer with the maps and sound effects, and had pictures generated for all of our characters for us, and it was amazing.
He had awesome. He had a little controller at his location, and fans and water mister set up so that like when you guys walked in the rain, like you got a breeze blew by and mist came out of the window. And
that's what it seemed like. But there was music, there was background music, there was all kind. It was like you're playing a movie. It was amazing.
That's awesome.
And his and he's an awesome storyteller. So it was great. And then Baldur's Gate 3 came out, and I jumped into that, and that game is amazing. And I don't know how many games I've played all the way through several times, but I played that 3 times consecutively.
Oh, that's
You've
great.
done multiple on it too.
Oh,
wow,
yeah.
I didn't realize. I mean, obviously, Jen and Will and a large number of my friends have.
Yeah.
That it's the kind of game you finish and they start another character. But it's such a long game. I'm surprised. I mean, I guess we do play our Fallouts and Elder Scrolls in a similar fashion in that we can just keep playing the same game forever. Whereas with Baldur's Gate, you go through 100, 150 hours and then you start again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's so many variations to that game as far as characters and choices, and the classes you pick, the all the different dialogue choices you make along the way, who you romance, who you don't, and everything, and it forks the game so many different directions that as soon as you finish, you're like, oh, I need to try this again. And then the third playthrough was uh the Dirge playthrough, where it's you get the urges, you get the voice in the back of your head telling you to do horrible things, and stuff like that. It's like a completely different origin and endpoint. But so I did those, and that doesn't even count the playthrough I'm doing with Jen and Will and our other friend Allison. So we haven't finished that yet, but we're going, still working at that.
That sounds pretty amazing.
And now we just madly have to figure out another game that we're all going to play together. But and then I took a break from that and kind of hit a wall with that. So I played through all the Arkham games again.
Oh, those are great.
Revisited those, the Batman games.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I've only played the first one. I never played City or Night or any of the other Origins.
They're still great. And even Arkham Asylum still holds up after, all this time. They're really, the gameplay is really good. The stories are really good. And then I switched over to Cyberpunk, and I was sure I was going to play all the way through. I want to play all the way through Cyberpunk. I got the DLC. I made it all the way into the DLC, and then Oblivion came out.
Yeah, it'll do that. A new game derails the old quite often.
Yeah.
But you were saying pre-show, and kind of we're hearing the story here, is that it is kind of like a serial gaming, like one game fully immersed as long as it takes, and then the next game fully immersed as long as it takes.
That's the way I operate, and then I hop, and then Will started talking about, fishing, and then I was listening to the podcast, and you were talking about fishing, and oh man, that sounds fun. So I dipped my toe back into 76, and now I'm just like hooked right back in. So.
Wait, are you actually really playing some 76 again now?
I'm the last 2-3 weeks. I'm level 89 on the scoreboard.
Wow.
Back in with both feet.
You're almost right up there with me. That's really brilliant, Dwight. And so good. I can't wait to get your thoughts on fishing and all that.
Break because they had Brutal Legend. The Xbox store had Brutal Legend on sale for $3. So, which I don't know if you've ever heard of that game, but
Jack Black.
Yeah, Jack Black and Metal, and it was the day Ozzy died. So I've been in a state of mourning. So I downloaded that and started playing that, and that was good. And I queued up to go for full circle. I queued up Starfield, and I was completely lost. So I'm gonna have to start that over again. Go back to it.
Yeah, when you leave any game long enough, that absolutely happens. But that's really cool. You're 76, and Will got pulled back in with the Ghoul stuff, or a little before the Ghoul stuff. Really, it was like 3 or 4 seasons ago. And now you are too. I mean, and who knows if you'll stick with it, but that's the great thing about a game like 76 is that it's very much home. I mean, all the Fallout games are for us, and most everyone listening, but 76 especially is, country roads take me home every time. You get back in and, except for Ray, you get back in and you're just like, yes, I'm home.
It's been long enough that I was out of it now that, like, I'm really enjoying doing the events again. I'm really enjoying, and there's still a lot of the storyline that I haven't done yet, as far as like Shenandoah Valley, the Ghoul stuff. I haven't done any of that, so I can still explore all that stuff and do that. And
right.
I got to say though, your fishing tips in the beginning when I first got in there, you were giving a lot of tips on fishing and where to fish for how to get the axolotls and how to do, and that was very helpful. I appreciate it.
Glad to hear it. Yeah, I mean, the weather stations made so much difference in getting those mods. I had a lot of help from our guys in chat there hanging out with us tonight too, helping get all those mods because they can be hard. And until you get them, it is such a conundrum. Until you have the right stuff for your rod, you're not going to catch, the cool fish that you need to get the stuff for your rod. So it really, I feel like the first month or two is a grind on fishing, but once you get past that, it's pretty smooth sailing.
It's going pretty good. I last week I got Saturday I got to play at Will's camp for a while, and he hooked up his snow machine for me. And just while we were sitting there, I caught 7 axolotls and a blood whisker, and that closed out the forest region for me.
That's brilliant.
So,
I
yeah,
don't even have all the blood whiskers I need. Wow, awesome.
7 axolotls, did you say?
7.
Is
Yeah,
that some sort of record? Like, have we called Guinness on this?
is for me. I don't
I
know.
mean, yeah, more like a maxolotl. You can't get any more than that. That's crazy.
But I did not snaxolotl.
Good on you. Hey, by the way, there's a new rule. We were joking last week about putting berets on the axolotls. I was thinking about merging them, but Randa posted one up on Twitter, and there's a new rule. Any axolotl wearing a beret is immune from snacks. You cannot snacks an axolotl in a beret. Home free, safety, home base.
Fair enough.
So just so you know. But really, seriously, it sounds like you've played a lot over the last while.
Yeah, well, and this is one of the things that 76 does well is that a lot of these other games, I get home from work and I have maybe an hour to play. I can hop into 76 and do dailies and fish a little bit and get some stuff done and log out. Where, like when I was playing these other games during the week, I don't even bother messing with it because an hour's not enough time to do anything, So I'm getting to play more because I can play in short bursts,
Yeah.
So it's been fun.
I find with the longer games, like I'll hop back into Fallout 4, you're just saying the time frame. It's not even worth playing for an hour. It's like you get your gear ready, you form your plan, you know what you're going to do. By the time you get to the front door of what you're going to do, your game time is up already.
Yeah. Oh, especially you guys play survival
Oh, yeah.
all the time. It'll take you an hour just to get from one place to the other.
I've been having to train myself, do not leave your tent. Take it with you. Like, 'cause so many times I have plopped the tent down to do my save thing, but then I've gone to 5 or 6 cells away, and I'm like, okay, let's plop the tent down and save. Oh crap, I forgot my tent. God damn it.
Yeah, you've got to remember to pack all your gear every time. It's way too realistic, but I love it.
Wait, what does it say? Leave only footprints? Is that what they say?
Exactly.
My stupid tent.
Leave no trace.
Yes. So you said you're back into Starfield for a while. Sounds like you're a big fan. What's your sort of feeling on the placement of Starfield in the Bethesda, pantheon of games, the Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Starfield all together? Now you think it's a good representative fit?
I really don't try not to dwell on the negatives on anything, but I gotta be honest. It didn't hold me as long term as the other games did. Like Skyrim, I logged in and that was it for like a year, Fallout 3, Fallout 4, same thing. The side quests and everything kept me going, but I felt like, I don't know, Starfield, I loved the space, it really scratched the space battles itch. I loved, exploring different planets. I just felt like it kind of got samey really quick, for whatever reason. I don't know, but I don't know. Like it needed to like more solid side missions to do or something.
You're not alone on that with Starfield. I mean, obviously, I'm not ready to fight. I was like, as soon as he asked you, I'm like, oh, Dwight, you better watch yourself. You better watch yourself. Our favorite game, but no.
It's a beautiful game, and it has that Bethesda personality to it that I love.
A lot of it, yeah. Although it's different. I've said it needs to be a little bit weirder. in some ways, it is not as weird and unique. It doesn't have as many memorable characters in some ways as a lot of the Elder Scrolls games, or certainly the Fallout games do, but they are there. My thing about the setup there with Starfield is that a lot of that stuff is less discoverable. The truth is, it has more side quests than any of the other games. There really is
that's
a lot of content.
Feels, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you don't stumble on it as easily. You have to have a different play style, and the stumble upon I'm just wandering and finding stuff play style is very different in Starfield. And maybe you'll find coming back to it after the map updates and everything else that and the Rav 8 and other things that is different for you this time in there. But yeah, I always say the exploration in Starfield is on the galaxy map and within and around cities. You can't just land on a random planet and explore. That is a pathway to, for a lot of people, to feeling empty. Whenever people say too many empty worlds, I'm like, well, don't go to there.
No,
you don't need to.
I avoided those, the empty moons and stuff like that. It's like, okay, there's not going to be anything there,
Why put them in then?
I don't know, filler.
Mods.
I guess it's the nature of the procedural generation, right? I mean,
part of the beauty of it.
Not have anything on it,
It's probably actually reflective of what's likely out there.
Reality.
Nothing on the planets. Yeah.
You say why add it, but there's also why not. And once they've done a couple and they develop the system to create them, they can do so many more. The thing is that it's just completely optional. And I know some people have difficulty with optional. Not us, not most of our listeners, but there are people out there who have difficulty. They're like, well, if it's there, I need to land and I need to explore. And it's a kind of a dead end trap unless you're in the mood to explore, survey, do repeated missions and such.
I did really enjoy what I played, and I think I just needed to let it breathe a little bit, and then I know I'm gonna go back to it, and I'll probably start from scratch again and play through because I really enjoyed the initial playthrough. So I feel like I'm just gonna do it again. What the hell?
It's a very quest-based game, and we'll see when the next expansion comes out, or if it maybe, nobody knows, no official word, but if it maybe comes to PlayStation, maybe some of you playing over there next time. I mean, who knows?
Well, I got my Xbox, so I need to use it for something. So
true, absolutely, but yeah.
Yeah, I just put two and two together. I forgot you're from the PlayStation world, and the.
Primarily.
Yeah, and okay, I'd forgotten that you needed to acquire an Xbox to play Starfield. Hilarious.
That was how badly I wanted to play it, though. I got it,
Hey.
Will helped me, but I got an Xbox to play it.
I think lots of people did that. I think their plan worked. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Hey, let's sell some Xbox. Oh, let's make this really coveted game, exclusive to one of these. Says, oh gosh, you know what? We might be able to wring a few more sales out of this whole promotion thing. Yeah. So I see what you're doing.
They got me.
Yeah. Now they just need to release them all on the Switch.
They will eventually, probably.
I don't know. Fallout 4 on Switch 2?
Turns out games sell more if more people can play them.
That's true.
Yeah, funny that, right?
Very, very true. Yeah, people are finding that more and more. I mean, talking about the top 6 of the top 10 on PlayStation sales last month are, Microsoft games.
Right. Exactly. I don't know. I've always said that the whole rivalry thing, the whole exclusive thing really doesn't benefit the players at all. It really only benefits the game,
the
hardware companies.
Yep. And you can understand console wars when you're younger, or when it was especially, the genesis of it, literally, with Nintendo versus Genesis, where it came from. People love teams. They love team sports. They love rooting for their favorite. And exclusives do have a benefit to an ecosystem a little bit, as in, oh, I can do this thing there, therefore I want to have this system. But it's not consumer friendly. It's more business friendly.
Yeah.
It's more getting you to play on their system as opposed to the others, whereas why can't we just play them all? So, yeah. I, for one, am excited for hopefully more people to be able to play Starfield when it comes on PlayStation and any future Bethesda games. You shouldn't have to buy an Xbox to play Elder Scrolls.
Right.
You haven't in the past.
Absolutely.
You certainly shouldn't in the future.
Well, and that's what I've always said too, is, no game has ever been better for me because somebody else couldn't play it. So,
Right.
the more people that, hey, welcome to the club, it's
Mm.
it's better if more people can play it.
But how do you feel holier than thou unless you can hold something
Right.
above someone else's head?
Right.
Well, by getting a PC.
Absolutely.
But that's
the,
a
the,
false
the master
narrative
race has it all.
because they only think that they're better than everyone else, whereas all the rest of us are really just laughing at you guys.
Yeah, no.
We're certainly
because
comfier.
we've got better mods.
Just sink you into the hole.
And all the hours they put into making those mods work, though, Andrew.
Oh, yeah.
That, we could be playing.
Yeah. Whereas I'm
That
having
is part of
fun
the
and
game.
they're organizing. But sometimes people like that. Sometimes people have fun with the organizational part of.
Hey, one of the
into the
most
games.
romantic, time periods in our country's history was the Wild Wild West.
And
And that's what PC gaming is.
I think Ray and Victor, spend more time tinkering with mods than they do actually playing the game sometimes. At least back in the day when they would discuss stuff, like it was obvious that they were curating more than actually playing, and getting different collections together, seeing what corresponds with what ties things up, what makes things crack. Like, and they were doing experiments and running they had all sorts of comparative studies going. It was great.
It is great, and I enjoy the game of mods too. And on Xbox, and a little bit PlayStation, but Xbox, we can still spend a couple days setting up our mods, choosing the right ones, testing, make sure they play well together.
Yeah, but
there is a beauty to that.
It says we only have 2 gigs.
Yeah, we have a lot less space for sure. Although on Starfield, 100 gig recreations.
And since we have each our own individual Xboxes, we're not connected to like a server with multiple people playing. Why the 2 gig limit, do you think? Shouldn't that just be dependent upon how much space and memory you have on your own individual Xbox? Why do they limit it for everyone?
Originally, they just needed to do that to standardize, because the idea of mods on consoles was brand new with Fallout 4. When they did that 2 gig thing, it had not been done before. Like, we had DLC. But the idea of user-created mods uploaded and being able to be installed, that was new. It was Wild West. And it was also, we're allowing this outside code and outside programming onto our system. So they wanted to test it. They wanted to limit the amount of space it could take up. And to be fair, drives weren't that big on the Xbox One when it first launched.
Yeah,
we didn't have a whole lot of room. We still don't have that much room. But
15 years ago now, good lord.
Yeah, exactly. And then 5 gig for Skyrim, and now 100 gig for Starfield. So they've certainly, been increasing.
It's but they will not retroactively go back into Fallout 4 and increase our mod size at a later date ever. You don't think?
If they were going to, it probably would have happened by now with either the next-gen update that, came out a little over a year ago.
Yeah, right. It
or
been then.
around the time of Starfield. As they roll that sort of stuff out, that's when it should have happened.
Okay.
Now, should we get the Fallout 4 remaster someday, maybe even a remakester if they're going to go all in on it,
That'll happen.
then maybe we'll get more for that. But, we've got the Fallout 3 remaster first, assuming. Maybe a New Vegas remakester.
Mm-hmm.
Skyrim doesn't
We
need a
don't need
remaster.
another
It's already had 100.
It's
But we'll see.
been remaked to death.
Yeah, but we'll get there.
How far are we off from next-gen consoles?
3 years.
3 years? Okay. So
Yeah,
they're already
2027 will be the earliest. Assuming you don't consider Switch 2 next gen, which no, it's not, in my opinion, and most people
being
wouldn't.
behind a generation and then catching up to the current thing afterward, and when the next people are about to step up their game to a different station, catching up is not next gen.
Yeah, the way I look at it, the
them,
Wii U
it's next
and
gen.
Switch were the same gen in a way. Wii U and Switch were pretty much the same gen.
I think Switch and Switch 2 are the same goddamn gen. That's
Switch.
stupid.
Switch 2, I can say they're bringing it up to current. But yeah, so 2028 is the most likely time. But none of them have been announced yet, and it could be 2027 for next gen, but most likely 28.
But Switch 2, their big new product in 2025, now can keep up with an Xbox from 2018. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just far behind.
Mostly Mostly, it actually can't keep up with a full series console or PlayStation 5, and graphically on some areas, believe it or not, Switch 2 is still not up there with them quite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they they compensate with the fun aspect, I supposedly.
But that brings me back to you, Dwight. Do you like to pick up the newest console when it comes out, or do you wait on that? Are you cutting edge?
I told myself I was going to wait on a PS5, and then I wound up picking it up. So, the FOMO hits pretty hard. I have hard, fast plans, but then, the FOMO kicks in, and then I, try and get it.
I held out for 2 weeks on a Series X. That's how long I lasted, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But the PlayStation took a little bit longer. But yeah, I usually get the new one. I wasn't sure if you would jump on it or not. Andrew took about a year or so, ended up getting one with some help. And Ray, Ray's ahead of the curve.
The next one, I kind of predict that it's probably not going to have a disc at all. It's all going to be, I'm guessing the next generations are going to be all digital download.
Right.
To get rid
Most likely.
They're going to get rid of the physical media forever, and now they're going to do it. And so that might prompt me to hold off a little bit, just because, I have a whole bunch of games on discs that I don't want to not be able to play, But,
the way it has been, the default has been, with a disk drive, media drive, cartridge, whatever you're using, and then there's an option for a digital version. Next one, most likely the baseline will not have the ability to insert physical media, but there will then be an optional, plug-in disk drive, or maybe an optional, really pricey SKU that has it.
Hopefully, because but you look at, computers rarely have DVD drives anymore. Nobody has a Blu-ray player in their house anymore. Mostly, they're using
the console. That's the thing about consoles; they are Blu-ray players. So I would miss that.
Medium alive up until this point, as far as I'm concerned, because the game, everybody that's what they use to play any of the discs they have is their game console. But the cars don't even have CD players anymore. Streaming model is the future that they're going pushing everything.
Satellite radio, streaming stuff, MP3. Like you mentioned, you're still doing physical, and I have a lot of gaming friends in the larger gaming community who are still physical collectors. Retro gaming, and unfortunately, like physical in general, is going to become retro pretty soon.
Yeah.
But there's a big market for that, but it is less and less. Over 90% of Xbox games are now sold digitally. I think the last time they did a survey for PlayStation, it was 75 to 80%. It's more and more than you'd think, and of course PC even more so. But I have only, blame me, blame people like me. I've only bought 3 physical games since the Xbox One launched even.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I understand. I think the biggest reason I'm reticent to go all in on that is because I'm an old school, music. I have I don't know what you'd call it, but if I want to listen to something pops into my head, I want to listen to it right then. And so I still have my iPod because I've got 4,000 some songs on it that I can't replay. I'm never going to be able to replace that database. I have music, but there's some places that I can't get signal, like my current where I work, so I can't stream anything, but also there's a lot of music that you can't get now, especially like 90s, 2000s.
It's not all available.
Music that isn't available on any of those things, and it's because there's no license for it anymore. And gaming's the same way. I feel better having the physical product and being able to, hey, I can put this disc in and play the game, not, oh, we don't have this license anymore. The game's gone. Sorry.
Right. What if they just discontinue it? What if they remove it from the service? What if they pull a lot of these streaming services who have completely legitimate shows that they posted for 3-4 years and are now removing them? I hear you there. Like sometimes I will get something in my head and I'll have to search for it on YouTube to find it, and then you find a really kind of poor uploaded copy from like 12 years ago that is the only way you can find this thing. But yeah, my digital music collection, I'm looking, I've only got like 47 gig right now, but that's a lot. But yeah, if I didn't have that, there's songs I would just never find again.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you guys
think Black Sabbath version of Blue Suede Shoes I cannot let go of?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think that the Blu-ray is the last physical media to be newly developed that we'll have, or will there ever be a new cassette, CD, vinyl record? Like, are we done with developing new physical media?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, there may be iterations on it, but also, do you consider a cartridge or something digital that you plug in to be physical media? For instance, when you buy a Switch 2 device now, it's coming with a little key instead of the actual game itself. Or some things you'll get a USB drive that has the game on it. Like, is that physical media or is it not?
If it's individualized, then yes, it could be. But I feel like if there are 500 games on that USB stick, no, that is not a game. That is
a little USB drive you can't
storage
write over.
device,
But
right?
you put a piece of tape over the little indent, and then you can record over your USB drive.
There you go.
Like back in the day.
I feel like if the companies actually recognize how much they're cheapening their own product, that they might go back to a physical media type of thing because.
But they
You know,
probably
a
just use
streaming
one that's
model-
already exists. I doubt anyone will develop a new.
No, well, there's not money in it right now, so
Yeah,
why
exactly.
would they have full control over it? But it's making the media inherently more disposable.
As far as new, that is a really good question because like I have a friend who works making vinyl, and vinyl's made a comeback, but these are old formats. Like maybe they're improving old formats, but a new format.
That's a nostalgia factor, though. I
Right.
don't think that's gonna, that doesn't have staying power.
Yeah, because the inherent problem with all of these is that they're spinning media.
Mm-hmm.
That has physical contact. It wears down over time.
Issues.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And
CDs
so
get scratched,
it's not the
tapes
best
stretch.
possible way of delivering the data.
Old programming on punch cards, like play piano stuff. You just put it in. I mean,
Oh man,
it's amazing how
Could you
things have evolved.
imagine
Yeah,
if we had
but even
player
those
pianos?
get frayed.
They do. It's just a lot to think about. Yeah. So DVD, Blu-ray, maybe one of the last types of physical media, that kind of optical.
Yeah.
But who knows? The new technology may require a physical media, some kind of holographic optical media. Who knows?
I was always curious why the round disc. Why is that the best way to present? I guess it just must be the most compact way to collect data into a continuous. The continuous part has something to do with it, right? That it can play.
Clint is right. Holotapes will outlast it all. I mean, we've still got holotapes in 2296, so
And they sound just like the day they recorded. So Clint's got a point.
Oh, the next physical media could just be a storage device, like a solid state storage device for whatever it's got on it, instead of something like that.
Yeah.
But
And
at least
that's
you have
where
some
is that physical.
media that you could plug in whatever you were and not have to rely on some outside source of signal to be able to make it work.
As long as it doesn't degrade. I mean, and a lot of masters too. Like masters for things, tape masters are still much more reliable and last longer than a lot of other things too. So yeah, there's a place for it.
Because those don't get used.
They get libraried.
If a magnetic tape sits in a can and never gets run over a head, it doesn't degrade. If it spins any time going over the head, that's physically rubbing away the material, and eventually that's why hard drives, the head, unless you have a head crash, never makes contact with the surface. It's reading a magnetic field, generated by the disk. And same thing with the Blu-ray, that's just it's light reading, dots as they go past, at 1,000 miles an hour. That's why those don't break down as quickly, because there's no physical contact there either.
That makes sense.
But you gotta set them the right way, or else you scratch the fuck out of them.
Oh yeah, and my gaming computer doesn't have a spinning hard drive in it. It only is M2 drives.
Only M2. Yeah, no, same here actually. You're right. Only solid now. Solid state drives.
Is M2 your model, or what does that indicate?
Those are the little stick type. They look like memory sticks.
Yeah, they're much faster. They plug into your board.
Nice. And Dwight, before we move away too far from the music you were talking about earlier, I just wanted to give you a second to have the floor with the passing of Ozzy, just because I know you were a huge fan. If there's anything you want to say about him, or for those of us who only know the hits, like me, like where do we go if we want to know, the good stuff? Where are the killer albums? What are we missing?
Well, appreciate it. Thank you. I didn't expect it to hit me as hard as it did because, it's like, oh, well, it's a celebrity, but, I mean, his music's been omnipresent in my life for most of it, and when you're talking about, it's been with me everywhere I've gone. It's been, gotten me through deployments and, PT tests and, just pain and, been a comfort and energy and, and he Sabbath and Ozzy are like at the top of my list for, favorite bands, singers and stuff. And um I think Ultimate Sin album in the 80s was the first one I picked up by him. But honestly, then I got the Randy Rhoads tribute album, which was a live album, and I still love those songs more than the I've mentioned before, more than the actual originals from the albums because they're it was recorded when they were already on tour for a while, and it's just a band at the top of their game. These songs have been practiced and they're up tempo and there's a lot of energy to them. And Ozzy, his voice, is just like so powerful on that album, and it just grabbed me. And then that made me go back and really visit the whole, those first 6 Sabbath albums you can't go wrong with. They're just, I mean, I don't know how many bands have 6 straight albums of that much good material, in my opinion.
Not many.
But then you figure, I don't know how many other bands have, been as long lasting and prolific. There's a lot of bands that are still touring, greatest hits, or they'll put out an album here and there where there's a couple songs that, they're on the radio for a while and then they kind of disappear. But like, Ozzy had 8 albums with Sabbath, not another one later on, and then he went solo, and his first 2 solo albums are just outstanding. Blizzard of Oz and Diary of a Madman are just awesome albums, great songs. And then he hit again in the 80s with that Ultimate Sin album. That was on the charts. That was a really good, he really hit with that. So there was another generation that joined during that, which was mine. And then in the 90s and in the early 90s was the No More Tears album, which is a great album from beginning to end. And he continued to put out strong albums of work, and he continued, and up until just a couple of years ago, he put out another album, which was outstanding, and it's a lot of generations have their own jumping on points for him and his music. But to be that relevant for that long of a period of time and to be able to touch that many, generations of people is pretty outstanding to me.
Absolutely. Do you know anything about his passing? Like I heard that he did this amazing, charity show recently, and then maybe had gone to Switzerland for euthanasia or something. What do you know anything about that?
That was a rumor.
Was it? Okay.
I think in a couple interviews he had mentioned how, if it's time, it's time, and especially because he was the last 5 years he got diagnosed with Parkinson's, and he had an accident years ago on a 4-wheeler, and broke his back, and it bothered him for a long time. Well, under, I guess, somebody's suggestion, he had surgery on it, and it made it worse. So it's near constant pain and couldn't move. And so he was really suffering the last few years. And I think that put him in a dark place, and he would talk about, hey, when it's time, and I want to end it and stuff. But that wasn't, from what everything I've read, he died in hospital with Sharon right next to him, and
Mhm.
And England. Where's he from?
yeah, in
Manchester?
England,
Where were
yeah.
they from?
There he was from Manchester, but
Manchester.
I don't, But I watched that concert as soon when I wanted, man, I wanted to go, but I just couldn't with starting this new job and everything,
Where was it?
and
Was it in England?
it was in Manchester, yeah.
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 Wow.
Which
Is it?
funny story, when I was stationed in England, I picked up a magazine, one of the metal magazines there, and they said that they were going to be Black Sabbath was reuniting for the first time in forever. They since Live Aid was the last time they had reunited, and this was 1998. And I went to my wife, and I was held it up, and I was like, I need to go to this. And she picked up the phone, and they went on sale and got me tickets at the NEC Center in
No
Birmingham, England.
way.
And it was on the floor. And we got there, and we're sitting there, and almost nobody is there for the opening band. They're there for Sabbath, and that's it. Well, the opening band was a band called Fear Factory, who I kind of
Oh
like.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
like them, and they were just going for it. And I'm not a sit in your seat kind of guy for concerts anyway, generally, or I wasn't at that time. Now that I'm 53, I am. But um, I said to the guys I was with, I want to be up there, and they said, "You lead, we'll follow." So I walked to the edge and walked up to the front, put my hands on the bar, and the security guy comes up and he's like, "You got to go back to your seat." I'm like, "You want? This isn't Barbra Streisand. We're here to see. You understand that, right? This is Sabbath." And he's like, "Nope, everybody's got to be in their seat." Well, I turn around to go back, and all these other people, when we went up there, all these other people sat.
Already. Yep.
And I said, "You gonna make them sit down?" He said, "I tried."
You
And so I was
probably
there for the
got it.
whole
That's the
show.
rule.
I was front row for that show the whole time, and it was amazing getting to see them play all these songs that I just loved, that I had never been able to see live, and I hadn't been able to see Ozzy up until that point live, because he was all through the 90s. He was going through other health scares and canceling concerts and stuff like that. So I wasn't able to see him, but that was just amazing. But this last show, yeah, I bought the pay-per-view and I watched it, and it was amazing. It was great.
Would
A
you?
testament to his passion, I think,
Yeah.
doing this, one final show like that.
And it was all for charity. All the commercials breaks that they had were all talking about the different charities, and it was also talking about Birmingham and his hometown, and showcasing the local bands and stuff like that.
Do you think that the MTV show cheapens his legacy at all?
Um, I don't. I didn't watch it, and I didn't like watching it because I didn't like how it was edited, and how it made him seem like a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, they made him like a doofus. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's done enough since then to kind of let everybody know that that's not really him.
Hmm.
Because he's gone on and done a whole bunch of other albums and tours since then. He's not. They made it look like he was on death's door.
Yeah.
But I think it was just one of those things that changed. It kept him relevant, and he kind of changed with the times, type of thing. Or at least Sharon had him change with the
Sharon
times.
dragged him into
Yep.
the times. You mean?
She knows. She's a savvy businesswoman.
She is.
There was no small part of her keeping him alive and keeping him relevant through all that time. She played no small part in that. So
Hmm.
hats off to her too.
Absolutely. All right.
Thank
And you
for that.
recommended to me to check out the Paranoia album as a good place to start. I listened to that.
Paranoid. Yeah,
Paranoid,
that's
sorry.
very solid. That's got most of the hits on it, and yeah, it's a good album.
Yeah. So
I'm checking your show notes here. Anything else on, before we move on like games? You've got something about a tattoo? Like, you've got some non-gaming things written too.
That a while ago, well, how Jen is, and we talk about stuff, and she's always like, well, when you come and visit, we're gonna do this. When you come and visit, we're gonna do that. And which honestly going to try and do here before long because it's been too long. But she said, in one time, she said, well, when you come and visit, we should all get tattoos. And we should each get like the Fallout door, like the gear, but we'll all get something different inside. So you never threaten, suggest getting a tattoo to me and have me take it seriously, especially when it's somewhere cool that I'm going, because I get my tattoos when I go cool places, as a souvenir. So, and with Ozzy passing and everything, I had already been thinking about it, but I have a Fallout mashup T-shirt where it's the Fallout guy with dressed as an X-wing fighter outfit. So I figured, you know what? I'll get a Fallout guy mashup, but he'll be Ozzy.
There you go.
And he'll be standing in front of the gear. He'll be standing in the gear.
That's awesome.
That'd be really great.
So, and I put it out to a buddy of mine that went to school to be a comic book artist, and he jumped into it with both feet. So he's I'll post a picture actually.
Vault Ozzy. That'll be great.
That's where it's at right now.
Love it. Sweet. All right. Thank you, Dwight. It's good to hear from you. Having good to check and get caught up a little bit.
Yeah, thanks. I dominated this whole section, so.
Yeah. No, you're quite all right. It's how we roll. So let's go ahead and check in with Ray and see what Ray's been up to this week. Ray, did you get a chance to play any video games, sir?
I did play a little bit. Yep.
What'd you get into?
Kind of the usual stuff. So I've been, playing Skyrim, and
Orc with a pickaxe, right?
Yeah. Up until today.
Did you upgrade the pickaxe or the orc?
No, it's a red guard.
A red guard with a pickaxe. All right.
So, Skypothesis has dropped the August character build, and so I had to go, start that ball rolling.
Remind me what that is. They have.
So they're in for 2025. They're doing a vanilla build every month. So they drop it on the first Friday of the month, and so today it just happened to be, Friday the 1st. So
spooky Friday the 1st.
Yeah. Been playing a lot of Cyberpunk, and finally, after all this time, I got started on Phantom Liberty, and so got to meet Idris Elba.
Something?
Idris Elba, man.
Yeah.
Is that Cyberpunk DLC?
Yeah.
And see, Dwight, you played that too?
Yeah, I got well into that before Oblivion came out, but yeah, they had me at Idris Elba, and it was that's a good game. That is really a good game.
See, I know him from The Wire. Ray, you watched that Luther show. What's your big Idris Elba entry point, Dwight?
Pacific Rim.
Oh, honestly,
that speech he gave, he had me. I'm in.
Right.
We're canceling the apocalypse. I'm in.
Let's build a wall. It's good stuff. Yeah. All right. So you said Phantom Liberty is Cyberpunk DLC, correct?
Yeah.
What's it like? What did they add? Just a quest, or would they add anything cool and fun?
It's a whole new section of the city. And it's pretty crazy. The beginning of it is just absolutely bonkers. Before you even meet Idris Elba, his character, it's a wild ride. So it's been fun. I'm not quite sure why I waited so long. But
Well,
now
that's been
I'm
pressed
rolling.
in the
So
beginning. And it was pretty bad in the beginning with certain things, but
yeah,
so it's understandable.
but yeah, but I think most of it was really just me um, not settling on a build,
Mm,
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
right.
and so finally I just was like, to hell with it. I can't, I can't keep doing. There's so many builds you can do with your characters in Cyberpunk, and so uh, I finally settled on one, and it's been fun.
Well, because
Definitely
you'd
loving
played a
that.
lot of Cyberpunk. I mean, you took a break, but you'd played a lot.
Yeah,
So it was just Phantom Liberty that you hadn't gotten into and done, right?
right. Yeah, I've played through most of the endings. Um, the only one that I didn't do was siding with the corporation.
Is the Phantom Liberty content that different from the main game? Do they mix it all in, or is it a completely separate quest line?
It's a completely separate quest line, but it's woven into the main story. So it's
Cyberpunk open world, is it sandboxy type stuff?
no, it's open world.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you start off, you're locked into a starting zone of the city. But once you get out of the first act, then the whole map is opened up to you,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of space.
So last I remember you were this probably is 12 characters ago for you. Um like a cybernetics hacker type guy.
Yeah, that's what this character is
Okay.
um, and it's they've done some interesting stuff with it. It used to be that the cybernetics was just super overpowered, way too easy just to destroy everything. They've done a
That's the
lot
fun part. Come on.
to to bring it down and make it more challenging and make it a little more exciting. So that's been fun.
They're going to take your shotguns away.
Yeah.
Don't let them take her. Jess knows what that's about. Don't let them take her. They'll take your shotguns.
yeah. Don't let them nerf your shotgun.
Yeah. Shotguns in this game are good.
Because they
I mean,
haven't tinkered
shotguns
with
should
them
be
yet.
good in all games. Just saying.
Yeah. don't fuck with them.
So, but my big challenge of the week was in Fallout 4. So I needed to go take care of Kellogg, and
By that you mean bring him some soup and tissues and
yeah,
a
make him feel
snack,
better.
maybe. Take
Get on
care.
his good side, so he'll, tell me where my son is. And so my plan all along was to go in and get the key to the armory and grab the fat man and go in and take out Kellogg. And so that's what I did. And after dying 3 times, I finally killed him.
So we were talking about this last week, how you're going to do this. What was the strategy? How'd you approach the room?
So you walk in just far enough until you can see his marker starting to move, and then you back out of the room. So no conversation with him at all. He starts in, the most, resilient, man in the Commonwealth. But meanwhile, you're backing out. You VATS him with the fat man, and then launch a nuke. Doesn't kill him on the first shot.
What? I can't believe that.
So
did you get a headshot with a nuke?
I don't know.
Does that matter?
I didn't
It
wait
shouldn't
that long.
Mini nukes aren't the most accurate. I mean, I know you could VATS them, but yeah.
And so, therein lied my problem. So the thing is that, I had Nick with me, which was, helpful all the way there.
To a point.
But then as soon as Kellogg goes hostile, he goes rushing into the room. And so eventually, I got killed a few times, and finally I just was like, Nick, you're just going to have to suck up the rads on this one, because I can't not fire another nuke in there, even though you're standing right next to Kellogg. And so,
he can handle it.
He takes a knee, and I finally got that done, and then took care of the 2 cents that are with him, which they also were contributing to my demise. So this character just cannot take a hit. One shot and I'm dead from just about anybody.
So you're playing survival mode. What's your build?
I'm not in survival. I'm playing no armor.
No armor, right? Okay.
So just in clothes. And
so endurance clothes. What do you do?
Yeah. So I've got a military cap, which gives me endurance, and suspenders and something
suspenders and shirt, yeah, slacks.
That's a classic outfit.
Slacks. That has endurance in it, really?
Yeah.
You should wear the general's outfit from your best buddy Preston.
Lots of Med-X, I guess. Is that the damage resistance one? No. What's the damage resistance?
I never do chems. It's too much work.
It seems like this would be helpful though in this scenario without armor. At least the
I'm sure
damage
it would,
resistance
but
one.
I'm not investing in the perks to make chems practical.
Investing perks sucks.
So, but yeah, as long as this character doesn't get discovered, which is pretty hard to do. I think I'm at sneak 4 now, and so I'm pretty stealthy. And because I wear clothes, I'm hard to detect. My armor isn't
not rattling.
Yeah. And so, I do great with with sneak attacks, but if I'm exposed, I'm pretty much toast. So
that makes sense. Sounds about right.
But fortunately, there's enough range with the Fat Man that I wasn't taking any damage from that on the successful shot. I did have one where one of the synths stepped in the doorway, and so
got you too.
Got me too.
Splashback.
But yeah, it's pretty fun. It gets frustrating at times, but it's fun.
You were talking about having the right required perks to you're not going to invest all that. I was just thinking I need to plan better ahead just instead of starting a character and kind of like stumbling out the vault, because now I'm level like 10 or whatever. I've invested 10, 15 hours into the game. I've gone a couple adventures, and I'm like, oh man, I'm having trouble with getting ammo. I don't want to do that find more in a box perk. let's just build some, that ammo contraption stuff. Because I never mess with that stuff at all whenever I play. So let's really get in. Let's roll up the sleeves and dig into the contraptions or whatever the workshop is. And then I was like, okay, let's go to build it. Oh shit, I can't build it. Okay, what's fuck? I need like science 12 and like. I don't know. It's ridiculous the investment of perks I need to do just to build the ammunition like manufacturing stuff. So unless you build a character specifically for that, there's no way I'm gonna arrange a character that would be convenient to get those perks right off the bat. You know what I mean? Like I would have to build a specific character to be a manufacturer guy.
And then it takes so much material, to make that stuff that it's hard to keep up.
It's hard to keep up, so you have to go on junk runs all the time. But what you think is going to happen is you're going to build those little like junk collector stations and assign settlers to it. But then if you read into the rate of collection for those things, it's only like one piece of junk a day. It's ridiculously how slow those are. So there is no like maximum efficiency system unless you yourself are outrunning to collect junk. So I'm sure Fudge Muppet did it, but is there a junk collector's like build who always does the manufacturing stuff, but the junk jet is your like main weapon that you run around and just it's all junk related? You're the junk man,
Yeah. I mean, you certainly could do a build like that. I just find it easier. I mean, you really, you're never short on, 38 rounds.
That is true, but I
constantly collecting those.
I can never kill anything with them. That's the only problem.
Well, you don't. So you take them. Those to the vendor, and you buy 308s or 45s or whatever whatever gun you're using, and you trade them for 38s.
I've charisma of 10, and it's still a 4-to-1 transaction. I was like, if it was a 1-to-1 transaction, that'd be fucking sweet, But like, if it's 4 caps for 1 round of 10 millimeter, which I'm using right now in my character, I'm just like, fuck, it's gonna be 280 caps for these 14 rounds or whatever. Like shit.
Yeah, 10 millimeter is tough. It's better to do the either 50 cal or 308s. Something with some power,
some umph to it.
So you're using less of those bullets than you would with a 10 millimeter. 10 millimeter, you're going to need,
a ton of bullets,
quite a few shots to, and that's.
But I'm still like level 10. I'm not like far enough in the game to be like branching out yet,
Yeah. But and then the other thing is to, to focus on the type of enemies that you're going after.
Yeah. Hey, I said I'm just stumbling out of the vault and wandering around. There is no point to this quite yet. No, though I am getting frustrated with a couple of different aspects. So now I'm thinking, now I want to restart and do like something specific.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have so many, builds written down that I've got everything mapped out. I think I've made one adjustment on this character where I took Gun Nut 3 before I took Night Person 2 or something like that. But otherwise I've been dead on with my perks and getting everything right at the right time.
Yeah, that's great. I still love that. Sitting down with the perk chart and mapping out your character. That's fun. I haven't done that in a while. I used to just hang out and build characters without actually making them. Yeah. All right, Ray, what else you get into there, sir? You got any other games you're playing this week?
That's been pretty much it. I've spent so much time in Cyberpunk that I haven't had much time for the other stuff.
You're just going to continue on the main story with your no armor guy?
Yeah.
All right, fun. We'll check in with you next week then.
Now I've got the Brotherhood of Steel running around, so.
Oh boy.
We'll see.
You in no armor, them in their power armor.
They're going to look at you with a side eye. No armor guy. Look at him.
So I did I got up to Far Harbor.
Oh, you actually went over to the island?
Yeah, because I had that the
someone
the-
sent
the
you there to
railroad-
kill a synth or whatever, or fetch a
yeah, the
synth,
railroad
right?
quest had me going up to the day spa.
How do they know? How do they even know? I hate that
There's
Halo
no
enemies
way
can do
they
that.
can know that.
So that was interesting. I was not particularly helpful with the the defense of Far Harbor. I kind of hung back and let them, take most of that heat.
Definitely.
So
It's a pretty wild battle.
Those those creatures that attack. One barf shot from the gulpers, and I would have been toast.
Absolutely. Yeah, they
Barf
hit hard. There are a
shot.
bunch of them at once, and yeah, you certainly cannot tank them. This,
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically like a Mad Jack build, right? You're doing a Mad Jack build in a bunch of games at this point. You're trying it in everything.
Well, no, because there's, this one I've got a gun, so
Okay.
and it's sneaky. So Mad Jack is all about punching your way through everything.
what
And
does
so
what
that
does that
one
mean?
is-
What is that from? What's Mad Jack a reference to?
Mad Jack is a character in Fallout London.
Yeah. That's what inspired him
Okay.
playing that in Fallout London and then again in Oblivion.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that's definitely a viable build. I don't like unarmed as much in Fallout because you end up with either a Deathclaw gauntlet or a Power Fist,
hmm
which are essentially just weapons.
They are. I never understood why so many weapons fall under the unarmed flag.
Yeah. So in Fallout London, I just used brass knuckles, and in Oblivion, I just used bare fists.
Right.
So, and that that's what made those so much fun, was being able to do that. But you just can't generate enough damage in Fallout to go that way.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ray. Let's go ahead and check in with Jess. Who you've been getting into the last week? Did you have a chance to play the game this week, Jess?
I did. I want to give a quick shout out and share a
Yes.
story from our friend Calm Horizons in the Discord. Matt there in the
Story
Discord.
time, folks.
So he was talking this is just before the show earlier tonight, playing Fallout 4 right now, like he does. And he said he's doing the Cabot quest. He's level 20 with a melee build, which is, his favorite play style in Fallout 4. He can have it. That's fine. I did my Blitz and Rude playthrough. I'm not a melee person, but that's what he likes. So he's telling me.
It's the best.
I know some of y'all like
And
it.
you never have to worry about bullets.
That is a bonus. That is a bonus. You also have to close to melee range. Well, I guess with bullets you don't have to quite as much, really.
No.
But so here's the quick story. So he's doing the Cabot quest, and a raider ambush charges at him, and he quick saves. He can't see them, only the dots on the compass. But he can, he can see their names because he's got subtitles on, and one of them is legendary. That's one of the funny things about, subtitles is they pop up and you see legendary raider, blah, blah, blah. So he runs down the hill with his rocket bat to smash them to bits like everything else, and he starts taking rad damage. He figures the legendary must have a rad weapon. Then he dies from the rads. He actually died from rads in Fallout 4 in the middle of the regular Commonwealth. We're not talking a glowing sea. We're not talking Children of Adam. But he died. So then he finds out he didn't just have a rad weapon. The legendary raider had an irradiated minigun. So he reloaded and tried again. Took some Radix first, ran to close the distance with the Blitz. There are 4 of them, though. Takes a minute to actually target the legendary one. Turned out to be a minute too long. Dead again. He died twice to a group of 4 raiders, one of them legendary irradiated minigun. Third time was a charm. He took even more Radix, 5 total, while he was fighting. He also took Psycho, and that did the trick. And he now has his very own irradiated minigun. So he says, "Is that even good against anything but me?" And none of us answered away. So we said, "It's an honest question, by the way. Is an irradiated minigun crap? It kind of feels like it's crap." So, I said, "I'm not sure, but considering you can do both a gamma gun, because you can do a gamma gun build and you can definitely do a radium rifle build. So I don't know, but the thing is, I would think it'd be slow and steady as opposed to quick kills because, while health is a pool of 200 to 300, some creatures less, of course, but I'm talking a lot of what you face. Whereas radiation, like humans have 1,000 radiation damage they can take before they die, or the equivalent to it. But that's kind of how the numbers work. So that would take longer. And so we started talking a little bit about gamma guns, and he's saying that when he's searching Reddit, they've got a pretty dim view of rad guns, except Lorenzo's artifact and a few things. But perks, maybe like heavy gun or nuclear physicist. And I thought about it more. And a nuclear physicist would work almost just like when you get explosive. You know what I mean? And you use like an explosive expert, or what's the perk that helps the blast perk?
Demolition expert.
Thank you, demolition expert. I'm all thinking about radiation here. So like demolition expert helps everything explosive. So if you've got a bullet, again, that does multiple bullets or multiple effects that are explosive, that affects it. Nuclear physicists would work like that on this high fire, rapid fire minigun. So I went and I tried to search what the effects would be on an irradiated minigun. It's 50 radiation damage per bullet. So miniguns, they only do 9 damage on a base minigun, 9 damage, but 50 radiation damage. You add nuclear physicists to that at like level 2, you're going to do over 100 rad damage per bullet. So you're doing regular damage, 100 rad damage per bullet at a high fire rate. Like fire rate on a baseline for minigun is like 250 or more, right? So that's actually, maybe not the most accurate, but you could probably melt things with it. So yeah, I'm saying try it. Give it a try.
You can melt raiders, but you can't melt super mutants, and you can't melt ghouls, and you can't melt creatures.
Yeah, well, some creatures you can. Rad damage is different on some of them. Right, but super mutants, it would be harder. They have pretty high rad resistance. But I'm just wondering, like, at that level of damage, if you're doing 100 per bullet, you might even get through some of these higher rad-resistant creatures, but not ghouls.
No, I was just about to ask
that.
Do all of those that you just mentioned, the super mutants and ghouls and death claws, etc., because they are irradiated, do they take absolutely no radiation damage, or do they still take some amount on a curve that if you keep increasing damage, then it'll finally break through some sort of threshold?
I think ghouls are completely.
You cannot.
Yeah, they don't take any radiation damage.
But
in fact, you'd be healing them. You'd be healing them with it a bit.
Healing them. But does that actually enter? Because when the glowing one does this lift thing, then it does heal the others around it, or does it make them alive? It brings them back to life.
Brings them back to life.
Yeah, it brings them back to life, but it heals them. So a radiated minigun would heal ghouls. So yeah, you wouldn't work there. And some creatures do have rad resistance.
Super mutants, mongrels, those things that have been irradiated, like do they have 100 complete total radiation resistance? They can't, right?
No, they don't. They don't, as far as I know. Maybe at the highest levels they might have more. But yeah, if I'm looking up their basic attributes, gameplay attributes on super mutants, just to double check. So what is their armor?
I never know how that works anyway. You guys are all
okay.
Dungeons and Dragons people, and there's all these formulas going on in the background. So I don't even know if it is a 1-to-1 transaction.
They are rad. They are rad immune. Nope, you're absolutely right.
Shit.
Right. All super mutants are. I didn't realize super mutants were rad immune too. And I thought they just had a threshold damage. I think maybe I'm wondering if in 76 that's how it works instead of immune. Because they changed the way some things work in 76, and people have different armor ratings. But okay, good against raiders, maybe some other creatures. Give it a try. I just like the idea that nuclear physicist would boost each bullet and could work like demolition expert. I thought that was kind of a fun thought.
Take it down to Quincy.
Yeah, the only time I ever do nuclear physicist is if I'm doing power armor. So
makes good sense.
But I've never even entertained the idea of doing a gamma gun build.
I was just going to ask that. I was going to say, has anyone ever concentrated on the gamma gun. I think that
You
might.
can't. You can't.
Not in 4. In 76
there's-
you can, but not 4.
There's too many things that are that you would do absolutely no damage to, because all the damage is radiation. Where the radium rifle works is, it's still a 45 machine gun, and so
You're doing both.
you're doing both, physical damage and radiation damage. But
Interesting.
yeah, I would stick with the melee, Matt.
Probably do, Matt, but still, I want to hear. I want to try it now. I want to get an irradiated gun drop.
All you need is Pikmin's Blade and Crim's Tooth.
It's true. It's all you need.
That's all you need.
Those are great.
One in each hand.
Is there an irradiated melee weapon? No, because that would irradiate you, so that'd be bad news.
There probably is. I actually think there's got to be. There's got to be an irradiated melee weapon in 4,
I
right?
can't think of one off the top of my head.
Probably from Children of Adam, like one of the super sledges.
The robot head that you can shoot, but that irradiates you, but that's, an
Adam's
energy
Judgment.
weapon.
Adam's Judgment, that's the one there. Okay.
What is that?
Yeah, that it's a super sledge that has the
right.
4, batteries stuck on the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, forgot about
That's a
that
great
guy.
one.
Yeah,
Got that in Far Harbor
The
for siding
nucleus,
with
right?
the Children of
Yep.
Adam. Yep, absolutely. Looking at the core stats on that, damage 40 plus 100 rad damage. That's pretty high base damage before any modifiers. Nice. But I think you and I may have some overlap on our games this week, Andrew.
Oh, yeah?
Looking at what you actually wrote down, which is kind of funny. So last episode, I talked about how I had been on a pretty big spree playing a bunch of puzzle games, like mixing it up. I'd been spending so much time in Fallout and Starfield and Oblivion, and I'm like, I gotta mix it up a little bit, play some things, So I went and did a bunch of puzzle games, got some gamer score, and I had played about 3 hours then before the show of this game called Against the Storm, which is, I mentioned, an animal city builder. But I wasn't that far into it yet. I'd just gone through the tutorial. I'm like, the tutorial was almost 3 hours. It was so long.
You
And then
said, what? I'm still here?
Yeah, and then I'm in the real world, and I didn't. Like a lot of city builders can take a while to really understand city builders and 4X strategy games. That kind of thing. There's always a lot to it. What kind of buildings do you make? How do you massage the populace? What are the rules? Because there's so many rules that it's hard to put in a single tutorial, so it takes a while. But after the show last week, I went and played a few more hours, and I enjoyed it. Then Saturday, I might have started playing around 5 in the afternoon, maybe 6, and I might have stopped playing at 9 the next morning, like 16
Nice.
hours straight.
That's a good haul.
I have not done an overnight. Well, I can't say that. I do every once in a while, but it's been a while since I did a full, all-nighter, and it just pulled me in. And what's neat about it is the loop is you're building, so you're doing these cities, but it's a roguelike city builder. So each time you have to start fresh, and essentially you're on this map, and the idea is there's the central scorched city, and you are basically resettling people on this map and trying to get to where you can reforge these seals that have broken that will then protect people. And each time you do this, it's a cycle. And so you build a city on your way to one of these seals, but you're going to build 3, 4 towns, which take about 2 to 3 hours a piece on average. And then you get to the seal, you do that, and then the storm comes and you have to restart because you only have so long in a cycle, and everything's wiped off the map. So again, you have stuff and it goes away, you have stuff that goes away, which could be frustrating. But sometimes the best part of a new game, whether it's Fallout Shelter, whether it's Minecraft, like I've talked with our friend Sherry, sometimes the best part is the first 5 to 10 hours where you're just getting set up, where you're kind of making the Ray with your characters, where you're kind of getting things set up the way you want it, where you're making these hard decisions. And after you've got things kind of on autopilot, after you've got things running smoothly, it's not as exciting. So in a way, the city builder is giving you the best part of each one, and then once it's sustainable, you can move on to the next. So long story short, I've been playing a lot of it. Okay, so I've reforged a seal, I've gone through, I've played about probably 30 hours in the last week and a half, or since Friday, maybe 25, 30 hours. It's been a lot. I have unlocked the creatures and stuff I've got. So I've got beavers, I've got lizards, foxes. These are animals that live there, and harpies. And yeah, it's cool, and humans.
Did you say
It's
ant
cool.
harpies?
So yeah, harpies are one of the creatures you can unlock after you do your humans and your lizards and beavers.
Like
the
witch eagle thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
But because of the incessant rains and the world of Against the Storm, they can't really fly anymore. So they're sad harpies. They're flightless harpies. They've still got wings and feathers.
There's nothing sadder than a flightless harpy.
It's funny because in some ways, the idea of the game sounds cute in that you're building cities with animals and all that, but in practice, it's actually kind of a dark, grim, dark world.
Because they destroy your town and you have to rebuild.
But I'm really enjoying it. And you zoom in and you're feeding your beavers pickled eggs. I'm getting this stuff set up so I can make a bunch of pickled goods because they love pickled goods. In fact, pickled goods, Andrew, you'll like this, are the one that the most creatures like. So humans, beavers, and lizards all love pickled eggs and pickled meat. So I'm down there feeding the beavers.
The creatures of my own habit there.
Totally. But you can make all the special foods for them, and it's a pretty complex game. So you do eventually get achievements. I was complaining. I'm like, I'm not getting any achievements. Why would I play a game if I'm not getting achievements? I might as well be on I might as well be on PC. Yeah. but I have unlocked some as it's gone on as you go. So I'm enjoying that a lot, I have to say. And the reason I mentioned is that I saw you had maybe played it too, because when I pull up the leaderboard, because I look at Game Hubs a bit, and 6 of your friends have played it. Cool. I've played it for 25, 30 hours. The next person, Andrew, has played it for 5 hours. And now I don't know if you've actually played it that long or if it's just on the menu.
I think it was on the menu because I did download it and I wanted to check it out because you spoke highly of it last week. And now after this session of you explain, I'm totally going to have to at least dive into it. I did start it, but it was one of those things like how I got, I almost want to say Outlander. What's that game? Is it called Out? It's not called Outlander, is it? Whatever the...
You're not thinking of Wasteland, are you?
No.
Outlander?
That space game that the people who Fallout New Vegas made.
Oh, Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds. So I downloaded that 2 weeks ago, right? Because you guys were talking about it. I was excited about that. So I downloaded it, sit down in my chair, get all excited to play, pass the fuck out, right? So I don't actually
That's what we do.
So that's pretty much, as soon as the show ended last week, I sat down and was like, ooh, I'm going to play this Animal City build. That sounds awesome. And then fall asleep in my chair 5 hours later. Okay, so that's my 5 hours of gameplay. But I did download it, and I do actually want to play it.
Especially a city builder or a 4X strategy game, those kind of games can be slower because you're stopping, you're looking at menus, you're massaging things. You're like, oh, geez, I think I need one more beaver over here, and let's move the lizard here. The lizards are cold-blooded. They like working the hearth. I'm going to put a lizard on the hearth, and oh, I bet they like working in the smokehouse. Here goes you're doing all these slow decisions.
So the animal dictates what they're good at,
They all have, a lot of them have skills and comfort things. So, for instance, humans are pretty skilled at growing crops and such when you put them there.
Uh-huh.
But what do they really enjoy? They enjoy working in the brewery and the tavern. So, that's what they like.
They enjoy drinking.
Yeah, and beavers are excellent as woodcutters. So you put on woodcutters, you get a chance to double wood.
Yeah, employ them at the lumber mill, right?
If you really want a beaver to be happy, you put them in the mines. The beavers yearn for the mines because they're actually all into engineering. It's not like mining; it's engineering they enjoy. That's.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay.
Harpies love clothing, so you put them out, give them a clothier. You're having them sew coat stuff. They're really happy, but they're also great with chems. They each have something they're good at and something that they love, but they can all do everything.
See, I love that shit. That's interesting.
Right, I'm getting way too into the weeds here for a Fallout podcast, but I do think it's the kind of thing that you would like. It's deceptively complex when you get into it. It's just learning the control because it doesn't tell you everything. The fact that when you get buildings to create things, and this is just for you now since you're going to play it, and anyone else listening who's going to play, when you get buildings
everyone else shut the fuck
something,
up. We're having a conversation over here.
Say you have a clothier, okay, and you're making coats and you're making boots, or say you're making pickled goods, okay? So you put them in there, and it'll show what's needed. So there will be wood that's needed in a square, but whenever something's inside of a circle showing what's required, you can actually click on that and select more items. So like maybe by default, it has lettuce selected, but you click on it and you can also select roots and tubers. You could also select a few other things to use. So just that's good to know. Same with like clothes. You can use cloth by default, but then you click on the thing, you can select also using like scales or leather or whatever. So
Ooh.
just know that there's more to it than you see on the first menu. Okay, backing out. Too much info.
Zoom out.
But yeah, I could see this
Well,
as being
that's great.
addictive for you, Andrew. But this kind of game in
that sounds
general.
interesting. I do love those city builders.
The guys in chat are laughing about pickled beavers.
Yeah.
My goodness gracious, they're so naughty. Anyway, then besides that, another game came out that I've been very excited about. A little bit cozier. We're still cooking. We're still growing and cooking and making things. But Tales from the Shire came out, which
Yeah.
I'm excited. So I've been waiting for this for a while. It always looked cute. I mean, I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan. I love Lord of the Rings. I've said before the game I played the most before 76 online was Lord of the Rings Online.
Mm-hmm.
And, I watch the movies regularly. I play the things. I mean, you're a huge Hobbit fan. You like the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. I'm a big guy into it. Yeah.
So Tales from the Shire is Weta Workshop's first game they've made themselves. And it's essentially a cozy game where you're playing a hobbit in the town of Bywater. For those who don't know, Bywater's near the edge of the Shire, kind of by the river on the way to Bree. Anyway, you're playing a hobbit, and so you come to the town of Bywater, you're settling in, you're, getting your hobbit hole, you're learning to cook and hang out with hobbits. Basically, it's a little hobbit life sim. It's not as intense or fast-paced as like Stardew Valley. I'm like, can you imagine a hobbit in Stardew Valley having like a 15-minute time limit and running around really fast by the end of the day? No, hobbits, they don't run. They don't run. Unless it's a three-legged race. But anyway, I'm enjoying it, but I'm only a couple hours in. I created my hobbit, Perpigillium Brownberry. She is a cute hobbit minstrel.
Say that again and then explain.
Perpigillium Brownberry.
Perpigillion?
Yeah, essentially, yeah, with an M on the end.
Perpug. Pug being the... Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there is a pug in there.
Okay.
So it's actually a British name. Perpigillium. It's a real name.
Perpigillium is a real fucking name? No, it's not.
Well, I mean, I think it
That's
is.
great. Okay. That's hilarious.
I'm looking it up right now because I'm pretty sure it is. But the reason why
I assumed that was a silly nickname you had for one of your pups at one point in the past. Perpigillium.
So, here we go. Baby names. What does Perpigillium mean? The meaning is one who measures through a small cup. It is a unique and uncommon name that is not heard in common in much times.
Oh my goodness, it's a real name.
But it's
and
Latin.
One who measures things with a small cup.
Yeah, it's a Latin name.
Pretty much. There you go. Shots. Pour shot.
Perfect.
Shot.
Well, but here's why I like it, and a few people might recognize it. The name Perpigillium has been used in pop culture, particularly the British science fiction television series Doctor Who.
Oh, it's a whoism.
In the series, Perpigillium, Perry Brown, was a companion of the Doctor. So yeah, they call her Perry, but her name is actually Perpigillium. And it's got the word pug in it, and it's Doctor Who, so that's my hobbit.
That's hilarious. That's great.
But, so I will tell more next week, probably when I play more. I've only played a little bit of the game so far, but it is very laid back. If you are a person who enjoyed like Disney Dreamlight Valley, which I know a lot of our Fallout friends did, right? No, but if you enjoyed Disney Dreamlight Valley and you also like hobbits, you might like this. It's relaxing.
Very cool. I saw Sarah Saylor posting about it, so I was like, oh, this looks great. And then I saw you getting all excited about it too. I was like, oh, awesome. So I thought, oh, maybe it's on Game Pass, or it's not on Game Pass.
No, but it's only $34. I mean, I'm not saying rush out and buy it, but it is less expensive than average.
So my wife is super duper into, Hobbiton as well. So I showed her, I was like, oh, look, there's this new game. Let's sit down and watch the trailer. We watched the trailer a couple times. And it does look super fun, but it's just slightly cartoony.
Oh, it's definitely a bit cartoony. I will say the art style is good, but the actual reviews for the game are coming in. A lot of people giving it 5s or 6s. In the wash, I've seen people who love it, especially if they're a fan of cozy games. But it is a little bit on the slow side and maybe boring for a game for some people. That's why I'm like, I'm going to give it more time before I render my final decision. I'm enjoying it, but I enjoy wandering empty planets in Starfield taking photos. So
We all get different things from
each
different
their own.
games.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and it does have a photo mode, a really good photo mode. Your Hobbit can
That does not work. Unless
your
you're
Hobbit
sitting
can
down,
do like 40
unless
different
you're
emotes.
sitting down with a fucking sketch pad, there ain't no photo mode in the Shire. How does that work lore wise? Come on.
It doesn't. It's just for you playing. It's not like your Hobbit's holding a camera.
Click, click.
There's no like pro staff. We're not going,
That's hilarious.
finding a lost tourist and taking pictures of things. No,
We should
not
be.
like that. Should be. Oh, and in the first scene, you meet Gandalf too. They're pulling out all the stuff.
Is it Bilbo's birthday? Is it his
No.
111th birthday?
But Bilbo was referenced pretty early on. Yeah.
That is the ring present.
I certainly haven't seen so far. I do not think it will be present at all, or
Are
maybe even
you-
referenced.
Is Frodo or anyone around? So you make your own character, but they obviously make reference to other ones. But you interact with the neighbors and all that, and have
Yeah,
conversations.
you
learn
might
about their
recognize a
kids
few
and stuff.
Hobbit names, and there are some references to
The Brandy
classic Lord of the
Bucks and
Rings
all that.
lore,
Cool.
Numnoriums and such.
Neat.
Yeah, gotta love the Brandy Bucks. Yeah, actually, technically, we wouldn't be that far from Brandy Buck Manor and the hill. Anyway, I doubt we'll go there, but So that's my gameplay, though. And I mentioned it because I saw you wrote down Beavertown, which, I should say, there is another game playing this and looking up some tips on it. It also made me look up, when I was looking that up, I came across another game called Timberborn,
Yeah,
which is a post-apocalyptic beaver game.
That's the one you were talking about in the group. I was like, that sounds fucking badass. So I looked out. That one's not available on Xbox. I don't think.
Radiated beavers, like for real. Like, oh my gosh,
I
it looks
couldn't find
awesome.
it. Is it on Xbox? I couldn't find it.
No, it's a
It's
PC
a PC
game.
game. Yeah, it's like, that sounds fucking great.
It does. It sounds really great. I want to check it out now too.
What was
that's
what was the game you guys mentioned earlier in the show? The Jack Black metal game?
Oh, Brutal Legend, right?
Brutal
Dwight?
Legend. What's that about?
It's Jack Black plays his character looks like Glenn Danzig,
Oh, no way.
but he's voicing it. He plays a roadie that gets transported to another realm where metal rules the world.
Yep.
And all the scenery, it's for the time it really looked good. You know what I mean? And it
Like
the
heavy
all
metal
the
head.
scenery looks like it's from like a metal album cover. All the metal album covers you've ever seen, and there's a big hot rod you can drive around with, and real metal songs are on the radio. You can be listening to Black Sabbath or Anthrax or whatever while you're driving
That's
around.
awesome.
And
I want a
Ozzy
big.
voices a character, Lemmy voices a character.
No way. That's awesome.
Rob Halford voices a character.
The premise of the game is
fun.
kind of like Army of Darkness, the third movie there with where Ash gets pulled into fantasy world. It's like heavy metal Army of Darkness. But then the gameplay, while you've got a lot of that and you got that character and story, then the gameplay ends up being kind of more like a real-time strategy, which threw some people off because you're actually moving armies about and stuff like that. Once you get further into the game.
Mostly there's some main battles like that, and the online component is all that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and like his weapons are one's an axe, one is his guitar that can, like, when he plays solos, it can actually melt people's faces off and stuff.
Does he do the most legendary move in rock and roll, the power slide?
That is an unlockable attack. Yes. It absolutely is.
There is a reference
playing
to
guitar the
that
whole
in,
way.
in Tenacious D's TV show about how the knee power slide is the most
power
epic
slide,
is
yep.
the most epic move in rock and roll history or something like that. And Jack's like, it's just kind of like sliding on your knees, man. And Kyle's like, is it though? Or is it the most epic move in rock and roll history? It's great. Good stuff. Oh, yeah, I'll have to check that out. How long did that game come out? It sounds like it was out a while back.
It was a 360 game.
Yeah, it was like
360,
2007, maybe
okay.
2009, somewhere in that range. It was it's Double Fine, Tim Schafer, the people who do Psychonauts and such.
I didn't recognize any of those that you just said.
Of course not. I'm sorry.
Psychonauts. That does ring a bell. But that's a TV.
Psychonauts
is that a TV
2 just
show,
came out
or
a
is that
couple years
game?
ago.
That's a game. Sounds like a TV
Yep.
show.
No, it's a platformer. Pretty awesome platformer.
Sweet.
Yeah.
In Brutal Legends, can I get a panel van with an awesome wizard on the side of it? That's my vehicle.
No.
Oh, come on.
Sorry.
How about a T-Bird with
The main
a
vehicle
big
kind of looks
hood?
like a
Something.
It's very stylized.
yeah.
No, that sounds great too. That's hilarious. All
And
right,
there's a racing side game you can do where like a Rob Zombie looking character you're racing against and stuff like that, and
that's really
it's-
fun. I'm
yeah.
glad that they
it's fun.
first of all that he is a fan of video games to the point where he got this game made, and then went around and pulled all of his like heroes in.
Into it, yes.
You know what I mean? That's really cool. All right. So I can roll through my gameplay pretty quick. I think I've covered most of it actually just by chit-chatting with you guys. Beavertown, Jess, I mentioned, was the irradiated beaver thing that I wanted to look up, but I couldn't actually find it. Timberborn, it's called. No wonder I couldn't find it. They're just look up Beavertown on the internet, and it's just a whole mess.
I started searching Timberland, and I'm like, wait, no, that's a producer. So yeah.
Timberland. Or a boot manufacturer as well. Shire preview, I said Tori and I watched that a couple times. Pretty sweet. We'll probably pick that up because we were thinking about it. We haven't played a game together in a very long time. That used to be one of our big hobbies together. So
Right.
we haven't played a game. Is it I assume it's not a multiplayer, but that's one of those you can pass the controller back and forth, it seems.
Yeah, it's not co-op, but there are still lots of good co-ops out there. We should have you play It Takes Two or Split Fiction. But
Oh, I've heard of Split Fiction. What's It Takes Two?
similar. They're Joseph Ferris games. They're co-op games where the two of you are
okay.
playing together to do a goal. Mostly platformers,
Fun.
but they're both pretty good.
Other stuff I'm getting into. I was curious if you're fighting in Fallout Shelter. As I was battling out in a quest the other day, I was thinking you've got 3 adventurers fighting against 3 opponents. I always just left everyone like fighting 1-to-1 and like you kill your guy, you kill your guy, you kill your guy. But then this morning I had the thought, or not this morning, it's a couple days ago, I kind of changed my strategy where I immediately, because you can change who your guys are pointing their weapons at. So, and I didn't know if there's I'm sure there is a mathematical way to prove this. I couldn't really think of it, but I was going to ask you guys, what do you think is best? Just to let them fight one-on-one like I did all the time, or having 3 people point at one and kill each one individually so that there are fewer... It's like you're taking less damage or something. Like how do you mathematically prove this? Which way is better? You guys got that equation handy in your head? Like what do you think?
don't, but
3
that's the way I
on
played.
1?
That's the way I played. I had them all concentrate on one at a time
Yeah.
because for every one you knock down, that's less damage you're taking.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, wait a second, why am I doing it this other way? I'd be taking less damage if you knock fewer guys out. But then I was like, wait a second, does it average out less because then there's fewer... See, I just kept questioning if I'm thinking about it correctly.
If all 4 of them are fighting the one person, they take them out pretty quick.
Right, and when one goes down, it automatically targets the next anyway. So you
Yeah.
lose nothing by all focusing on one because then they just move on to the next when he goes down.
So it's always better to just focus on one, and then you got to start with the most powerful in the room. Always, I see. Now, how does that transfer to Fallout 4? If you're running around in a room, you got a legendary and then all of his minions. do you automatically kill the legendary first and then start worrying about the minions, or do you take out the minions so that there's fewer people firing at you?
It depends on the weapons and how they act, and the game. Because sometimes the minions can do plenty of damage, and you can maybe take them out in only a hit or two, whereas the boss is going to be many, many hits. So in a way,
Yeah.
by focusing on the ones you take out quicker, you're actually going to be reducing your damage over time.
Same. I agree.
Yeah,
That's what
okay.
I did too.
But then say Oblivion, for instance, since we're jumping around, like in that one, if you have a spellcaster who summons something, when they die, whatever they summon died. So you're always better off fighting the Necromancer versus the Necromancer's skeleton, because you're just going to kill a Necromancer's skeleton, then the Necromancer, whereas if you kill a Necromancer, you only got to kill one.
Yeah, because
Smart.
he'll just generate a new skeleton.
Exactly. Yep. So it
Same
depends.
with the glowing ones. You want to make sure you kill them so he doesn't keep resurrecting the ghouls over and over.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Your
Yeah.
support units. Yeah.
Oh, or in Avowed, those shamans. Oh, every time those shamans always healing and resurrecting, right for him.
All right, so team up and concentrate fire seems to be the way. All right. Yeah, I didn't really have a ton of gameplay. I've been running around in Lexington, all the ghouls. I was sort of headed towards Corvega a little bit. I wasn't sure if I know I'm definitely not ready to go in there, but I was maybe thinking about just ducking my head in, just to stick a toe, just say, hey guys, what's going on? But then I got, waysided in Lexington right there, playing with the ghouls a little bit, trying to find different ways to draw them out into the center of town more, so I can kill them all with a few Molotov cocktails and stuff. Because I'm still under level 10. I don't have anything. My attacks are fine. If I get swarmed by ghouls at all, like I cannot take more than like one or two ghouls at a time. If there's 3 ghouls attacking me at once, it's gone. And I've been finding like some of my more efficient weapons right now have just been the like Molotov cocktails and stuff. It's been fun playing like that. I haven't played like that in a long while. But yeah, like I mentioned earlier, I'm using the 10mm pistol and Molotov cocktails, running around just putting on whatever armor I can find, just upgrading that as I can go. I ran into, I want to call him Mitch, but that's not right. The guy, I think he walks from 10 Pines to somewhere else. He sells armor. Lucas Miller. Is that right? So I got a champion's arm. That was my first big purchase. So I'm starting to get a couple. I got a legendary on me now finally. And then I was looking at my rate of play. How quickly do you guys, if you're playing legendary, if you're playing survival mode, how many, and I know it always has to depend on your which perks you have loaded and your idiot savant and blah blah blah, but what is your rate of leveling up per hour? Is it like a generally 1-to-1 thing? Because I'm falling behind that rate of leveling up once every hour. I'm 10 hours in and only level 8 or something like that. So I'm actually level 13 hours in. I think I'm level 10 now, something like that. Is there a rate that you guys normally do that you can sort of estimate?
No, not really. It depends on how many enemies you're taking on. When you're in survival mode, you're not going to be out there just wiping out scores of enemies.
Yep.
So your best bet is to explore and discover locations, because those will give you XP, and if you're careful about where you go, it'll be XP without having to run from hordes of enemies.
Right. Or you can level really fast, building very quickly. There are different ways.
Rubber mats.
Yeah.
So do you have your safe pathway early on planned out where you can just sort of discover locations without confrontation? That's something I could sit down and write down those locations and do a nice little map. That sounds good. All right.
Your survival mode avoidance map. Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't
great.
sound like a good way to level. If you want to level quickly, I know you're going to find locations like Ray is saying, but
Yeah.
you'll be missing all the XP from fights.
But the thing with survival mode is you got to kill them to earn the XP. So like,
Yeah.
if I don't
Yeah.
kill them, I don't earn that goddamn XP. So yeah, it's tough. It's always a huge, like, I know we always say it, but like it really is a really fun but impossible struggle early on. And the first 20 levels of survival mode is till you get your perks aligned, get your weapon together. It's a little hairy out there, man. Anything else?
Kept me from doing it.
What's that?
I think that's what's kept me from doing it.
Oh yeah. But it's really fun. It's really rewarding. Like, I didn't think so. I thought it'd be, terrible. I avoided it for years. I always play on the easiest mode. But I don't know what. It just adds a whole new dimension to the game. Let's see, what else did I get into? Corvega Lexington. Oh, I heard someone mentioning finding dirty magazines just like out in the wild, and then someone else was like sort of baffled by that notion. Then I was thinking about it. There were multiple occasions in my childhood where me and my buddies would find stashes of like Playboys or something, like in a dumpster or out in the woods or under the bridge or whatever. And I was just like, that's really weird that seems to be a thing. Oh, and someone else was talking about that, and I was like, wait a second, is this a thing? Do people find like stashes of old Playboys and stuff? Dwight, where'd you see your first Playboy? Was that at a buddy's house or something like that?
I think it was my dad's stash that he had from when he was younger.
Oh, that is awesome when you get raised in a house with this. My uncle had them, but
he didn't have them out. They weren't, they were just in some box somewhere that I found them. They were cleverly hidden.
Isn't
I
that
wasn't
day?
supposed to find them.
Isn't that day one of the most glorious days of a little boy's childhood, finding his dad's dirty magazine box?
Is it crass to say yes? I mean,
Not at all. No.
as it
Be
was,
honest.
it
It's
was
for
like,
posterity.
like finding the
Exactly.
Holy Grail. When,
It's that scene in Pulp Fiction when he opens up the briefcase and the light is shining in his face.
And then a bunch of my friends had similar experiences, and then we're all, looking at each other's magazines and stuff, oh, look what I found,
Yeah, and you're like, oh my god, I gotta be so secretive, but your dad's secretly like, yeah, attaboy.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
He laughed when he found out.
I'm sure he did, yeah. All right. So let's see what we have for the rest of the show. I got a couple of games prepared, you guys, if we want to play one or two. It looks like we're a little deep into the show, and I don't want to keep Dwight up too terribly late, but we should play at least one game before we roll into these iguana bits, I think.
Which one are you more excited about with what you got
I
there?
don't know. Let's
And
play.
now I want to.
What's up? Do you got dirty magazines, Ray?
No.
Oh, darn.
I'm mad at Jess now.
What did I do?
What happened?
I'm gonna have to do a gamma gun build.
We got you thinking about it.
Did
No, I'm sorry.
Did you look something up and find a little tidbit that might make it useful somehow, or what changed here?
So evidently there's some mods that you can add that. So one of the notes in the wiki is if you put a gamma gun with a poisoner effect, so you can find legendary gamma guns. So you find one with a poisoner effect, add the electrical signal carrier mod, and it's possible to have the most versatile weapon in the game, dealing ballistic, explosive, energy, radiation, and poison damage.
Okay.
And if you increase it with the demolition expert and nuclear physicist, then it's possible to have a viable.
Wow, both of them together, yeah, for sure.
And another thing that I've never done, except for one time, just to do it, is if you side with Jack Cabot, you get Lorenzo's artifact, which is a mod on a gamma gun that adds energy damage. And so I always side with Lorenzo
Yeah.
so that I can get the serum. So
And that's a good
now,
gun anyway. Doing that gun with a build made for it could be really
yeah,
something. I
What's
think you're going to have to
your
find out.
what's your special
damn
load?
it.
What's your special loadout have to look like to get those perks in line?
So perception and intelligence.
That'll get you all. You said you needed
Demo expert and
demolition
nuclear physicist.
expert is
That's level 5 perception.
level 5 perception and nuclear physicist.
think
Is that
that's
like
what it
10 intel? What is nuclear
9
physicist?
intelligence.
9.
Demo expert. Oh, perception. Yeah, perception 5.
Cool.
So
Do it, Ray.
Arg.
I want to hear next week.
I mean, maybe not next week. Maybe give it a little bit, but let it percolate.
I'll have to go through and see if any of my builds, that I have already written up, will work in that realm. But otherwise, arg. Although I am getting a little bit tired of being in no armor.
No armor, all gamma.
So, but
All right. Before we move too far away from weapons, I just had a question to Dwight. The Fallout show, and just the Fallout games in general. You look at the 10mm pistol. It's this really bulky thing with this extra compartment thing on the under the barrel, and the handles and it's just really oversized and weird looking. Ray told me something. I forget. Ray said it's based on something, or was it Decker's gun or something? I don't remember. I was just wondering, Dwight, do you have any insight to that big
Design?
weird ass design of that pistol?
None.
Weapon? What is that about?
I think it just looks cool. I think that's why they did that. It'd bore it. Otherwise they'd all look the same.
Yeah, true. Do you look at that and you're like, oh, I wonder what that does, or you're just like, oh, that's ridiculous?
No, I think it looks cool. I love Blade Runner, so I'm like, yeah.
Well, then, yeah. So it was Decker's gun that it was the design was based off of.
No, that's that gun.
That gun
in New Vegas.
Oh,
that's Decker's gun.
Oh, I think with some of the mods, the 10mm kind of looks like that still, right? Or the modifications you can put on it, or different builds.
Yep, you can make them still look like that a bit. Yep.
But
so it's just sci-fi gun. Looks cool.
Yeah, I think it just makes it look cool.
Okay. I didn't know if it actually was reflected upon a real life.
That big block in the front like that. There's no real function to it.
I was gonna say that it just looks like you're supposed to put your hand on, but you would never put your hand up on a pistol like that. Okay.
There was actually a crime boss or boss enemy in the hub named Decker in Fallout 2, which we'd know if we ever played it. But...
No way. Yeah, we gotta play that.
The big enemy.
So we need remakers of those first early.
Yes, please. Give me a remaker of it. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, one thing that you guys had touched on a couple weeks ago, you guys had said you were mentioning about the Hidden Valley and the chain of command and why.
All right.
And they
chain that binds or what have you.
And you had asked. I was like, but there's in our military, there's absolutely routinely higher ranking people give orders to lower ranking people beyond, more than a couple steps below them or whatever. That happens all the time.
And we were saying the Brotherhood would only deal with the people directly above or below.
Right. Seems to me that the reason for that would be is if you do not fully trust, the one that's in charge there, and you want to be able to filter everything as it goes to the people below you, or you want to, kind of vet it or interpret it.
Do you think that is
or like
a theme in the game?
Higher echelon below him didn't want to be circumvented in any way?
Do you think that's a theme in the game through the structure of the Brotherhood, that there is question?
It is.
It is? Okay. Especially in that game, right?
they put their trust in, the leader, but not, I don't know, at least in the Hidden Valley thing. But the Hidden Valley Brotherhood of Steel was really steeped in paranoia more so than some of the others.
Yeah, there's so many different factions. They're almost like
Yeah.
Didn't they call them
Yeah.
tribes or something even in the show, didn't they, I think?
Yeah,
They all
talking
have their
about
own tweaks and nuances.
Right.
a lot of the Raider groups were called tribes in the first Fallout games and New Vegas. Yep.
But even the Brotherhood of Steel, they all have their own flavors,
Yeah.
And that one seemed very steeped in paranoia, more
Absolutely.
so than the others.
All right, guys. So it's time to roll right into our
What time is it?
game time. All right. So let's start. We'll just play one game tonight. It's getting long in the tooth. Okay. Wowie is supposed to say, which one was it anyway?
Anyway, yeah.
Anyway. So if I'm understanding the premise, we're kind of, you say something to give a clue, and we're having to decide, which one of this and within the set of stuff, like which one. Okay, so then.
Yeah, the way we did it the first 3-4 times I ran it was, location or an NPC, and which game did they come from? Which one was it anyway? So
right.
which game was it from?
So
and then last week we did Riddle Wowie for the first time, and that was Riddle to find the location, then which one was it from?
That was cool.
It was
I like that.
poetic.
I'm glad you liked it.
That was fun.
All right, so I think I attempted to get somewhere along those lines. So we will play. We'll play the first one here. I've called it Baddie Bases, and from the name, you can gather that we're talking about our bad guys and their bases. Oh my gosh, where they're located. So what we're going to do is go through some famous locations in Fallout 4, and I just want you guys to chime in with your names and tell me, what is the staple bad guy that usually spawns at that location?
Okay. So different. So which one was it even? But with the bad guy, which bad guy is it
Which
even?
bad guy is at this location? Right, good. All right, so we'll go ahead and chime in with your names. So I'll just go down our list here. So first, the Wilson Automatoys. These are all from Fallout 4, by the way. The Automatoys. Ray.
Super mutants.
We got super mutants. Good job, Ray. Next, we have Carhenge.
Ray.
Carhenge. Ray again.
Behemoth.
The super mutant behemoth. Very good. Okay. We have let's go with Jamaica Plains. Jamaica Plains.
Jess.
Raiders. Anybody else?
No, it's cool. I'm sorry.
It's ghouls.
It's ghouls. Good steal, right?
I was thinking about all my defense events. I'm defending from Raiders once I take it. But yeah, it's ghouls with the treasure at first.
Corvega.
Dwight.
Jess.
Dwight, I heard first.
Raiders.
Good job, Dwight. Okay. Next up, Taffington Boathouse. Ray.
Blood bugs.
It is blood bugs. Good job, Ray. Oh, and just so you know, each bad guy only appears once. Okay.
Oh, okay. So we're
I'm
crossing them off the list.
Yeah, if you're keeping track at home. So I did not mention that in the beginning, but I will not repeat a bad guy. Okay. If that changes your strategy. All right, let's go down to Quincy, or Quincy as they say it.
Jess. Gunners.
The Gunners. Very good. All right, how about over at the crash site? Who are we going to see at the crash site? Anybody?
I'm trying to. I think we already named them, though.
Ray. Alien.
Can you get more specific?
Oh. Zayton?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ray. Good job.
When you said
Very
crash site,
good.
I was picturing the flight
The
liner crash
airplanes,
site.
yeah, the
with- yeah.
8871 or whatever, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, how about Vault 111?
Jess.
Jess.
Rad roaches.
Rad
And
roaches.
Voltec.
Very and Voltec, yeah. They're the rad roaches are the less dangerous of the bad guys in that worm. How about Dry Rock Gulch?
Dwight.
Dwight.
Deathclaw.
No.
It's the cowboy one.
Dry
but-
Rock Gulch
Oh,
over there in
oh,
Nuka
that's right.
World. Dry
What do we
Rock Gulch.
fight there, y'all?
What are you fighting in Dry Rock Gulch?
The worms.
Jess.
Jess.
Bloodworms?
Yes, bloodworms. Good job, Jess.
Thank you, Ray.
The worms.
Really, Ray gets the point on that, I think. But
Let's stay over in Nuka World. How about Safari Adventure?
Jess.
Jess.
Gator claws.
Gator claws. Very good, Jess. All right. Here's a real tough one. Briny's Bait and Tackle. They'll also find this bad guy at the Oceanarium.
Dwight.
Dwight.
Mirelurks.
Not Mirelurks. Anybody else?
Oh, at the Oceanarium and Jess.
Jess?
Anglers?
No. Ray, do you have a guess?
No.
These are our hermit crab friends you find outside of
Oh,
the giant
those
trucks.
big boys.
The big truck guys.
I always think of that
All
as
right.
being on the bridge, but yeah, it is right there at the Oceanarium.
How
Right.
about the Museum of Witchcraft?
Dwight.
Dwight.
Deathclaw.
Absolutely, sir. Good job. Who am I going to find over at the Rotten Landfill? The Rotten Landfill.
Ew.
Yeah, it's a lovely place.
Ray.
Ray.
Mole rats.
Mole rats is correct. Great job, Ray. All right, just a couple more. How about ArcJet Systems?
Jess.
Jess?
Since.
You are correct. Sense nailed it. Poseidon Energy?
Dwight.
Dwight.
Robots.
Nope.
Nope.
Ray
Jess.
or Jess? Jess?
Mirelurk.
Mirelurks. There's your Mirelurks. All right. Do we have any more? Did we finish them all? Nope, there are a couple more here. The Southwest Harbor. Who you meeting down there at Southwest Harbor? They got these silly hats on their heads. What are they doing? They got those big stupid looking lobster traps on their
Shoot,
heads.
what are those guys
What are
called?
those losers called down there? Oh, the Southwest Harbor.
Dwight.
Dwight.
Trappers.
Trappers!
Uh.
Attaboy, Dwight. They're raiders with lobster traps on their head, let's be honest. Okay. Is this our last one? I believe this is our last one. The Rocky Narrows Park. Rocky Narrows Park.
Oh.
Oh. Dwight.
Dwight.
Yaguais.
Yaguas. That's that little where you find the little cute bear with the little son.
Thank
Do not
you.
feed the bears.
I was picturing
love
it,
that
but I was thinking about
location.
because there are ghouls there too. But yeah, that's where you fight the Yaguai.
Good job, you guys. You did really well with that. All right, so that was this week's version of what time is it? Game time. Thanks for playing. All right, let's roll into some iguana bits.
Jessica, to the office, please. Jessica, to the office. Your iguana bits are ready. Please come pick them up. Thank you so much, Jess. Yeah, we got a few iguana bits this week, just a few. Not a whole lot of big news on the Fallout front, but so we went a little bigger, went a little bit larger. First off, the axolotl changeover. Y'all, we are moving from the scalded axolotl this week to the striped axolotl for August. However, the axolotl changeover is not what we all thought it was. They're like, oh, every month it's going to change. Oh, different location. Oh, you got the banded, you got the scald. I'm sorry, I keep calling it scalded. And it was a joke at first, now it's just a thing. And now we got the stripey one. but it is not August 1st. It's going to change over like the game always does on Tuesday. So you still have a chance. If you haven't got your monthly axolotl yet, you can get it until Tuesday.
What is it about Tuesdays?
That's the day that they switch everything.
I know, but why did they establish Tuesday 11 a.m. as their day where everything updates? Is there a point that is the best time to do it, like, network-wise, framework-wise?
Maybe work week-wise. I mean, traditionally, in the old days, new games would usually come out on Tuesday. That was kind of the restock game launch day, was Tuesday too.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's connected at all, but
I mean, new music used to drop like that too. I remember.
Mm-hmm. It's just because of the way stores were stocked.
Retail,
and stuff would come in over the weekend and restock Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, it's a logistics thing, really. And of course, you're getting the most traffic and the most sales Thursday through Saturday.
Shit, you work
Sunday.
in logistics.
Yeah. Yep. Restocking. So, anywho, Axolotl, Stripey coming up next, and I believe the Stripey. Is it going to be Skyline Valley? And I don't have the chart up. I'm grabbing the chart.
Grab that chart.
And the Mire, yeah. So August
Skyline,
is Stripey, Mire, and Skyline Valley.
The Sky Mire.
Yep, exactly. So that's going to be a fun one to get for sure. It's cute, but remember, wearing a beret, not a snack-a-lotl. Don't eat it. So here's a story that I actually saw on Wednesday and bookmarked. Then other people found it, and it became kind of a thing earlier today. Guys, we're going to be fighting honeybeasts and beetle babies sooner than you think.
Yay!
Have you seen this article?
No.
Radioactive wasps. Yep. Radioactive wasps found at South Carolina nuclear bomb site.
IRL. Good Lord. What, give me some deets. What happened here?
So, U.S. Department of Energy found a radioactive wasp nest with radiation levels more than 10 times what should be laid out in federal regulations at a facility in South Carolina. It's the Savannah River site. Used to be involved in manufacturing nuclear weapons and currently stores nuclear waste. That doesn't sound dangerous
plutonium.
at all.
Wow.
So
Yeah. Now, all the pictures they had were of yellow jackets. I don't know if that's just because that's the easiest thing to get a photo. Because the thing was that none of the wasps were alive. They just found the nest.
Right, they just found the nest, yeah. So it was discovered on July 3rd. It was in a FIRA tank farm on the Savannah River site. The nest had been sprayed to kill the wasps. So they did spray it to kill any wasps, after which the analysis found its contamination level was greater than 10 times the total contamination value set out in federal regulations. However, in a statement provided to the Aiken Standard, which is a local newspaper down there, they said, quote, no wasps were found on the nest. So they did spray it to kill them, but there already weren't any wasps. They were dead. It was just a radioactive. You know why they're dead? Because after they got all radioactive and grew to extraordinary size, they have gone into hiding and hibernation to spread and grow to eventually emerge and take over.
They couldn't fit into that nest anymore.
It's frightening if they're yellow jackets, because those things are just mean.
Angry.
They are. A lot of wasps are just mean too. Let's be real.
We also have, in this area, we have hornets that are big enough to kill and carry off cicadas. They're at least as big, if not bigger,
murder hornets bigger than your thumb, right?
They're bigger than the tarantula hawks.
That Christ.
Is what gave us the cazadors.
Yep, that's
Vegas.
What Randa's saying. That's how you get cazadors, stuff like that.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, these things will. This is, if they get even bigger than cazadors, we're all in trouble.
So for now, we're safe, supposedly.
Now,
it has been mitigated, but just kind of fun to see.
Let's revisit that safety.
I'm
aspect.
sorry, not actually killing the wasps, to me, is not mitigated, because you don't know where they're at.
Yeah, they're gone.
No, you don't. You don't. There, some may have it. I'm trying to be dramatic here, but some of them may have escaped. It's true, and who knows what mutations it could introduce into the wasp.
Did they say they didn't find any live wasps, or there were no
Yeah.
bodies?
No,
Like,
it wasn't either.
there were no dead bodies either.
There were no dead bodies either.
All right.
They were just. It was just clear that they had nested there at some point.
Okay, so you know what that means is they have a radiation leak somewhere, because there's no way a wasp nest would establish itself and continue to grow to a large size if it was continually being irradiated. That had to mean that they established themselves there, and then later there was an introduction of radiation, because they wouldn't continue to build a colony there under those radiation. So that means that everything was contained, and now they have a radiation leak and they abandoned a large nest. That's logically what that would mean to me.
Yeah, there was higher radiation contamination than they wanted to have there.
But
Absolutely.
not before,
They
something changed, so now they have a leak or something at that plant.
Well, but I'm sure they're checking all that, and they're saying the insects would have a lower level of radiation if they escaped too. But
yeah, but how much does it take to make them grow to supersize?
I just have to shout this out here. Clint says, "Come live in Australia where it's safe." Never heard that before.
Yeah, let's. You're in a certain shape if you'd rather. Their non-irradiated monsters are almost worse than our irradiated ones. So I don't know.
And Lee says, "Check the underside of your porch light." Yeah. Oh, I just found a pretty big wasp nest in one of mine. Dueling Lees, come on.
Did you hear that harmony in there? That was crazy. That was great.
Okay, ready? Ready? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, click.
That's just lush.
Excessive Lee action. Hey, it happens
wonderful.
sometimes. What are you going to do?
And we need to do it like row your boat. So here, you play yours, and I'm going to start mine in a second. So start yours.
Okay, ready?
Okay, that didn't work as well as I thought it would. Never mind.
It might sound better on tape, but yeah, it might not work so well over the Zoom call. But there we go.
Right,
yeah. So for those who don't know, Andrew and I both have a Lee button. We both have a lot of our buttons, because we're backup.
We share buttons.
Indeed.
Yes.
So, sticking with the stories of scientific finds and radioactive wasps and the fauna of the wasteland, here's something interesting. So this is an article that came out in Scientific American earlier today, and I saw picked up a couple places, and I thought it was kind of neat. Okay, I know this is not going to sound super exciting, but stick with me. The potato's mysterious family tree revealed, and it includes tomatoes. It turns out people knew that tomatoes and potatoes had some kind of relation, and thought that they were sister plants among others. However, it turns out that the tomato is the potato's ancestor. 9 million years ago, around the Andes Mountains, they are saying that the ancestor of the modern-day potato was born. That it turns out the tomato and another local plant down there in the Andes called tuberosum, there are a couple different versions of it, combined, hybridized, and created the potato. That they had dormant genes. That tuberosum doesn't have root vegetables, and tomatoes, only have the fruit up top. But when their genes combined, they created the potato as we know it, or well, an early version of it a couple of million years ago. So I just thought that was pretty cool. That it makes sense that in the wasteland, after the nuclear event and everything that happens, we now get potatoes, whereas they've kind of remerged and rehybridized, and potatoes and tomatoes have become as one yet again. So, circle of life and radioactive food.
Is it they came together yet again, or that they
almost like the dormant,
other
some of the dormant
vegetation can't handle the radiation, so therefore now they can thrive?
Yep, I don't know.
Something.
I am not a wasteland scientist, but
yes, you are. Come on, who's done more experiments in the wasteland than us?
It's true. It's true. Maybe not with plant life per se, but yeah. So I like the idea of bringing out that dormant gene that is
cool.
in there for tomatoes, but in a new way.
What do you think it tastes like? Is it like, because it looks like a tomato, but is it just a starchy tomato?
It's starchy tomatoes. It is starchy tomatoes. You can get a real crunch. That tomato with a little bit of a crunch to it.
Ooh, fried green potatoes. Mmm.
Oh boy, or mashed tomatoes.
That's not as. Actually, I do love crush. I love
Yeah.
crushed tomatoes. So good.
Yeah, I eat that over pasta.
Yes. Oh.
It's called sauce, but now sauce would be a little more starchy and thick. Yeah, I just, it was the longest time. I knew potatoes were a tomato potato hybrid, but I always thought of them more as tomatoes. Like I think most of us did.
Yeah, because that's what they look like. You're right.
But yeah, they're called potatoes because they're a hybrid. So
Crazy.
funky. I just thought it was neat that there was some science to back up that tomato was technically the ancestor of the potato.
Now we say that it's because it's fused with the tomatoes, but it's more the tuber part that it's fused with, right? It's less the tomato, more the tuber. I bet.
Yeah.
But yes.
But it's the genes from both because the other
Right.
plant that it's based on that actually looks like did not have the edible tuber vegetable stuff. That came from tomatoes once it merged.
Very cool.
I think Clint hit it right on the head. It
French?
tastes like French fries with ketchup on it.
Ooh, yum.
Perfect.
Give it.
Let's go. Give me a little vinegar and you've got a full
Ooh,
meal.
yeah,
It's
boardwalk
beautiful.
fries. Yes.
Mm-mm.
Drown them in that shit.
Well, speaking of fun new stuff, last week we mentioned Fosnacht was coming back, and hey, surprise y'all, Fosnacht is back now. Maybe you've marched, maybe you haven't. It's only been a few days. But we didn't know at the time if there would be new masks. There had been some that were data mined, but at the time, my friend Duchess was saying that while they were in the files, they weren't necessarily in the end game files. They didn't know if they'd be part of the event or not. Turns out they are. They're new masks. So if you've been marching, you might have seen some on pictures, various places. There is a corn cob mask. It's a
it's
funky
corn cob.
Yep, a corn cob and a glowing corn cob.
I couldn't
And now
tell
it's-
what they were, but I saw a picture of one before I knew what any of this was. I was like, "Is that Captain Chiclet Face? What the hell?
Yeah,
what is this?
it's a pretty freaky. It's a pretty freaky thing. It's like either a bumpy marshmallow with a big old blueberry nose. There we go. Rando shared a picture.
So Marshmallow having trouble with his teen acne.
Yeah. So we've got the new corn cob mask, and we've got regular and glowing. They've also added glowing versions of some classic masks. So you can get a glowing jester, cool. Glowing owl, wicked cool, by the way. Glowing skull and glowing sun, which kind of makes sense. But the glowing sun is more of a bluish. All the glowing ones are more of a bluish white look. But super
Look.
cool. So there are new things.
Very fun. I'll have to try to get in and do a few.
And one thing I didn't cover back when Fosnacht came back in the spring, I hadn't realized that while the drop rates hadn't necessarily changed, they'd modified how the rewards were given. So one thing we've talked about from the beginning of Fosnacht is how the rewards were always weird and that the uncommon were actually the most common masks and the common were less common because you only got uncommon if all the robots lived. Whereas if you lost a couple robots, then you get the common. But most of the time, most of the robots lived, so it wasn't working. Now it's simply they changed it to a pass-fail mechanic back Fosnacht before this one. So now it's simply if the robots survive and you make it, it's a simple everything has a drop percentage, and we've got the percentage of the mass drop. So rares are still very rare, about a 0.25, 1/4% chance of getting any given rare on a time, so like 1 in 400 chance of getting any given rare.
God damn.
Yeah, not the best, but it's now steady and it doesn't change based on how many robots live unless you fail. So I thought that was interesting.
I need a glowing owl mask.
Right? Yes, you have always had the owl mask, haven't you?
Yes, I've never worn anything else. I've flirted with the cheap squatch mask a little bit, but I always went back to the owl.
Didn't you have a name for your character too? It's like a superhero name is the owl?
The owl.
Oh, just the owl.
and I have my camp has a tower.
Mm-hmm.
It also has an owl cave. I use the the upside down.
Yep.
To enter that, and then it's all duded out owl cave.
Oh, beautiful. I remember you had something like that, the owl cave. That's the best. I remember seeing pictures of it back when you were playing a lot. That's awesome.
My work partner calls herself the owl because she's an old white lady.
Who is up all night and nocturnal? I mean, heck, that's going to be me soon.
She just
But
thinks it's funny, and I think she's hilarious.
does she have a big beakish nose? Does she eat mice?
No, she's an old. It spells owl, old white lady.
Oh my God!
Oh.
The acronym OWL. So
What a hoot. I didn't even get it.
What a hoot. Listen to you. Oh, goodness. Yep. She's funny like that. All right. Oh, no, you still got one more.
I got one more bit, y'all. One more iguana bit, because this time next week we'll be doing the show, but we might have something new to talk about because QuakeCon is coming back this Thursday, starting August 7th through Sunday. So 7th through 11th. I'm not doing anything with QuakeCon this year. I don't know of any major events online, although they will broadcast some of them again. It's going to be a standard QuakeCon. And keep in mind, QuakeCon is always more of a fan convention. So a lot of times new info doesn't come out of it, like big new reveals or anything like that. So we're probably not going to hear about, say, the next Starfield expansion or anything like that at QuakeCon. But we may hear more and see some cool stuff about what's coming next in 76 and other things. So hopefully we get some good info there. And hey, if you're in the area, check it out. There are going to be some good panels.
Is that in Bethesda? Where do they do that?
Yeah, QuakeCon is down in Texas. Is it Austin?
Yeah. I'm in Bethesda,
I'm
Maryland.
Sure
it's not in Maryland. Where you said Austin, Texas?
No. Yeah,
Okay.
no, it's a Texas event. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Always has been. Grapevine, Texas, technically.
Grapevine.
So.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good name.
So I'm excited. Always some good stuff at QuakeCon. Always some fun news and events, but it's just a big family thing. Looking where Grapevine is, it's just north of Dallas-Fort Worth. So that area.
Fun.
Yep.
That'd be cool. You ever been live, Jess? You ever gone to it?
No, I've worked on a few of the online events for QuakeCon, but I haven't actually been there. I've never even been to Texas.
I went to the Alamo once as a kid.
Do you remember the Alamo, Andrew?
Don't look for the basement. Doesn't exist.
I hear Alamo, I just think Pee Wee Herman. Like we all have our connections. That's mine.
I heard after Paul Rubens died that there started a petition to build a basement to the Alamo to put a replica of Pee Wee's bike down there. I was like, I could not support a petition any more than that. To build a basement at the Alamo and put a replica of Pee Wee's bike. Oh, that'd be so cool.
That's amazing. But yeah, that is all the bits I have. They are running the PTS currently still. They are doing some updates there with the new camp building stuff. But again, I'm only going to cover the finalized stuff. We talked to the general about some of the camp building changes, but we'll see how it turns out when they're done. And that should be coming, we're assuming, the first week or so of September.
Very nice. All right. So, QuakeCon starting next weekend. Right now in Indianapolis, they're doing that...
Gen Con,
the gaming, board gaming. I got some friends who would like to participate in that. I've never actually been down to Gen Con. But it was a seething mass this year. Evidently, they broke records. So
that's seething mass.
Fun. Yeah, it was, they sold out immediately. Usually, they still have some tickets left, but they every pass was sold this time. So, congrats to them. Good. Always wanted to go down. I know. Cannibal Craig likes to do tabletop gaming and stuff, and he usually goes. I'm not sure. I haven't heard from him if he's gone this year or not.
I think I saw him posting pictures earlier, so I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah,
we have
dedicated.
A few friends going.
Yeah, and I have an old coworker who goes every year too. All right, you guys. Do you have anything else that you would like to bring up on the show this week? I just had one shout that it has been horrible in Indiana. 85%, I just saw on the news today, 85% of our days have been higher temperatures and dew point than average. And so it's just been a brutal summer so far. But yesterday and today and tomorrow, it didn't even get to 80 degrees. The humidity has dropped out, and it was just like, oh my fucking God. It's like, you don't even realize what, not just physically, but mental relief it is to not have to be just oppressed by the fucking such terrible heat.
exhausting.
I
Yep.
cannot stand summer. So I just wanted to take just a fucking second to appreciate this weather right now. I might just stop recording and just go sit outside, even though it's like 2 a.m. Just fuck it, right? Just because it's so nice out and beautiful weather.
Nice mug of tea,
shout
sit
out
on
to
the
this.
porch.
Yeah, so I hope Buffalo gets a nice, taste of this air. Georgia, I doubt ever will, but
We got it earlier today. It was
Good,
actually in the
good,
70s
good.
today for the first time
wow.
too.
Oh man, it's
So nice. It's fall in the air. I can almost
I
taste the
smelled it
pumpkin
yesterday.
spice already.
Right, I was walking the dogs. I could smell it in the air. It smelled like fall. I knew that it's fake fall. I know it's going to be. I know next week it's going to be 100 degrees again, but I had to appreciate it just for a second.
You got fall in the air at all, Ray? That pumpkin spice?
It's 110 degrees.
So right now it's 77 degrees outside.
And that's just because the sun has been down for 5 hours.
Yeah. And the humidity's at 90%.
90%. God damn.
It's so wet. Oh my
That's
goodness.
terrible. You live in a hellscape.
That's why I don't go outside.
The Atlanta wasteland. What is the Atlanta nickname that we could call the wasteland around Atlanta that's without using the word Atlanta?
Oh, well.
Hot Atlanta wasteland?
Yeah. I mean, we're in that.
Radlanta. That's great. I like that. All right, you guys. So on that note, I would like to thank Dwight for coming on. It's been awesome to speak with you. We haven't hung out in a good long while, so it has been so fun to just catch up and see what's been going on. Dwight, thank you so much for hopping on.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's nice to hang out with you. Missed you guys.
I missed you too, sir. Are you still at Ammo Ninja in most places?
Yes, sir.
All right, check them out there. Thank you so much for hopping on. You can find Ray at Ray LB, also his show for Butcher Baker Candlemaker in Space, if you have any No Man's Sky needs. So Ray, thank you so much for hopping on.
Good times.
Jess and all of her many projects can be found at Sleep is 4T. And Ray and Jess both love to hang out over there in the Discord, so I encourage everyone to sign up over there. Jess, thank you so much for hanging out.
Thank you. Have a great week, y'all.
I am at Indie Android. The show can be found at the Fallout Feed. I'd like to thank everyone for downloading this edition of the Fallout Feed. We'll see you in the Wasteland.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the Roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the Wasteland.
Born to DM. Urges, you get the voice in the back of your head telling you to do horrible things.
Until you have the right stuff for your rod, you're not going to catch, the cool fish that you need to get the stuff for your rod.
If a magnetic tape sits in a can and never gets run over a head, it doesn't degrade.
You're feeding your beavers pickled eggs.